You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look up better. Put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of What If Naruto Enters Hyperdimension Neptunia. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Neptune suddenly spoke up while holding up what appears to be a disc with black tribal markings on it to the others. Hey guys, I picked this up but... Where did you find it Nep? Asked If. Nep? Is that what you're calling me? Asked Neptune. Well you named me Iffy, so why not? Like I asked before, where did you find it? I dunno, I found it hanging on a wall over there. Hanging on a wall? You're not joshing here are you? Neptune pouted at the skepticism. How can you not believe me Iffy? After all we've been through? That's not so nice to not believe Nep, Iffy, said Kompa. I doubt Nep-chan would make anything up about this, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. I was just a bit taken surprise at how she found it, plus we just met a short time ago, said If. Suddenly the disc began to glow much to their surprise. What's going on and why is the disc flashing? Asked Arisman worriedly. Do you know anything about this Iffy? Asked Kompa. I don't know, I haven't seen anything like this. If replied, the disc flashed brightly before dimming to reveal monsters standing before the group, surprising them even more. Monsters actually came from the disc. Get into focus everyone. Naruto summoned the short swords and lunged at one of the Clyde monster and slashed consecutively before jumping away from an attack by another Clyde though Arisman used lightning fur to drive it back. Neptune used cross combo to attack the super otaku but the Ms. Clyde used a recovery skill to heal it so if attacked it with her katars with Kompa assisting by stabbing with her giant syringe. Naruto rushed up to a Clyde and slashed it several times then used execution to finish it off then threw Kansho to hit the super otaku which was about to attack Neptune before she turned around and used cross combo to take it down too. Kompa provided healing to If as she engaged the Ms. Clyde who kept on healing itself from the continuous damage but wasn't able to defend against the assault for much longer when she used demon flames for massive damage to finish off the last of the monster. Everyone was able to catch a breath and Naruto passed out some SP chargers for them to consume and restore their SP. That was a surprise, you could have told me that enemies came from discs, Neptune whined out. How should I have known? No one knows where monster come fro, If trailed off as her eyes widened in realization of certain implications. Neptune was a little confusion by her sudden silence. What's the matter Iffy, cat got your tongue? So this is where the monsters come from this is amazing. By that you mean we just found out the origins of the monsters which many having been trying to find out, said Naruto thoughtfully, seeing the logic at what she's thinking. Yesy. I think this is a super discovery, said Kompa happily. Ha 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 ha, the group were suddenly startled by the sound of laughter which came from out of nowhere which didn't make sense since they're the only ones here. I came for my guardian, but I didn't expect to see you here Neptune. Who's there, and what's with that old melodramatic laugh? Asked Neptune nervously. Then they saw something approach them from behind a rock. She is a woman with a witch-like appearance. She has very pale skin, almost appearing to be a pale light purple. Her hair is also a light shade of purple, being styled in a short haircut with one long bang to the side. Her apparel consists of a black witch hat with thorns circling it with two different shaded purple flowers on them, and feathers sticking off to the side. Her outfit itself is a black one-piece with purple stripes along the cuffs and torso area. The witch appeared to be rather annoyed. Who are you calling old? Mocking people as usual. You have not changed on bit. Is this a friend of yours? Asked Kompa. Of course not, I don't know any old lady wearing this much goth makeup, said Neptune. That's a relief, I was beginning to doubt your choice of people. I would have put my resignation if you were friends with her, if was in agreement. Me too, she's too weird for me to even want to talk to, said Naruto. So, who are you Mrs.? Asked Neptune. The witch appeared to be very irritated at the comments thrown at her right now. How dare you? Saying that in front of me, I'll get rid of you all. I think we made her mad, said Erisman nervously. We can pretty much say that it's NEP's fault, said If. Neptune was flabbergasted to hear that. How come it's my fault? Heads up you two, here she comes. Naruto equipped himself and got ready to fight the witch, who summoned a spear. Then she flew forward and kicked Kampa very hard in the chest to send her tumbling away. Kampa-chan. You're gonna pay for that, Charger. Naruto quickly closed the gap between himself and opponent, then slashed rapidly, but the witch easily parried the attacks before smacking him away and flew backwards to casually avoid the demon flames attack from If. She made to approach but leaned back to avoid a spinning blade thrown by Naruto from the side, then flew towards her intended target, smacked If to the ground with the flat end of her spear. How weak, is this all you can do? Asked the witch haughtily. No way, cross combo. Neptune attempted to use her skill to attack, but the witch easily saw through the attacks and defended against them. She was about to counterattack when Naruto jumped over Neptune from behind and performed execution to land a clean hit, only for her to shrug it off like it didn't happen in the first place. Hey, what gives? Our attacks aren't even tickling her. Indeed, because I'm not even laughing. The witch knocked Naruto away, then went to strike Neptune hard to the ground and got ready to attack again, but blocked an attack from Erisman before backhanding him away. Like a little rat can do anything to me. Then let's see you handle this. Trace on, Blade Raid. Naruto ran at the witch, all the while flinging copies of the short swords, with them being deflected till he was up close and activated his charger skill in a hit-and-run tactic. A couple of hits were successfully inflicted, but the damage was far from enough, and the woman's sneer told him just that before kicking him very hard in the gut to send him crashing into a cave wall and collapsing to the ground. Darn it, she's too strong. I call this a cheat. She's too strong for an early stage boss. Neptune whined out. She hits really hard, said Kampa, slowly getting back to her feet. Guess she's much stronger than she looks, said If. What a meanie, Erisman out. The witch scoffed at the group. Humph, you're all some to me. Cry and weep like the losers you are. Now then, I'll be taking back that key fragment. She picked up the fragment which they had dropped during the one-sided fight. No fair, we went through a lot of trouble to get it. Give it back. Neptune yelled angrily. Silence, the witch kicked Neptune, causing her to cry out in pain. Nep-chan. Leave her alone, you old hag. Naruto yelled out. In anger. You're just as annoying. The witch stomped on his head to drive it to the ground and grinded her heel on it. Humph, you're nothing more than a weakling who should know his place. Naruto, the girls called out to the blonde in worry. The witch turned towards Neptune with an evil smile on her face. Now the time has finally come. I'll take your power, Neptune. She launched a purple aura towards Neptune as its target. Ha ha ha. Finally, the first step to my ambition has finally began. Nep, look out. Kampa got up and rushed over to push Neptune out of the way, but ended up getting hit by the aura. Kaya. Kampa. Neptune called in worry for her friend. Kampa, are you okay? Kampa looked at herself in confusion. She was expecting pain but feels none of the sort. I'm okay. What? The witch was surprised at what just happened before it turned into anger. How dare you get in my way of Nep? Nep? Why are you calling her that? Asked If with a quirked eyebrow. Once more, I'll make Nep's power my own. The witch launched another purple aura, but Neptune scrambled out of the way this time. Hey. Stop running around and just get hit. Naruto got a hunch of what's going on here. She's trying to absorb Nep-chan's power. Must be targeting the power of her other form, said K9. And since she's absorbed Kampa's power, we now have a chance to actually beat her, said If. DMN it, the witch clicked her tongue in anger. Hey you, we're even now. Neptune quickly transformed into her other form. I won't let this chance and you get away. Might as well join in for a second round. Naruto stood to his feet and got ready to rejoin the fight when suddenly he heard a voice speak up in his mind. I believe I can help you out. Something came out of Naruto's pocket and hovered before himself, revealing itself to be a piece of metal with a protruding round plate on the front with a pair of horizontal lights for eyes, giving it the appearance of a face, a blocky triangular shape with a blue color scheme and a large red crystal. Who or what are you? Asked Naruto in shock. I am Biometal Model X, it replied. Biometal? What is that? I feel it best that I explain things later as you need to help your friends and I wish to lend you my strength as we're compatible. Okay then, but how do I use you? Asked Naruto confusedly. First grab a hold of me and yell out, Mega Merge, then I'll do the rest, said Model X. Okay then, Naruto took Model X into his hand and held it before him, Mega Merge. Model X's eyes flashed for a moment before speaking up, BioLink established, MGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome light as he underwent a transformation. He wore a black spandex bodysuit and Model X burst into many bits of light before attaching to his body to form armor. Blue gauntlets with yellow bracelets formed over his forearms, a helmet similar to Model X is fitted on his head while donning closed blue jacket armor with a yellow collar. White pieces of armor were also fitted on his thighs and waistline as well, and a set of blue armored boots with thick black soles formed up to his knees to complete the transformation. The light dimmed to reveal his new form to the others who were in awe at the sight. The witch's eyes widened in recognition and disbelief. It can't be, you were supposed to be sealed away, you can't have found someone to mega-merge with. Well, you better believe it, 'cause it's our turn to beat you black and blue. Naruto dashed forward and lashed out with a straight punch which struck the witch, and this time actual damage was inflicted when they saw her flinch in pain from the strike and back away from them. Alright, we can do this. Hey kid, your stats have gone way up courtesy of the transformation. Give her hell, said K9 excitedly. I'll heal your wounds. Kampa activated her first aid skill on If to heal most of her injuries. Thanks, I'm good to go. If charged at the witch and struck multiple times with her katars before backing up and using demon flames to attack from a range. The witch made to retaliate, but Neptune intercepted her and used cross combo to inflict great damage and knock her back from her target. Naruto stepped forward and had his right hand transform into an arm cannon, buster shot. He took aim and rapidly fired orange energy bullets to strike the witch and push her back further. Is that all you got? The witch flew at Naruto and swung her spear at him multiple times, but the blonde was using short dashes to evade them whilst concentrating energy into his X-Buster. Naruto was slowly backing towards a cave wall, but he quickly flipped backwards to kick off it and somersaulted over the witch to land behind her. Charge shot. He fired a green energy bullet to knock her into the wall. It moved in to attack, but the witch blocked the incoming strike and kicked her away. Then Neptune and Naruto double-teamed with a slash and a charge shot for great damage. Hold her off while I power up for a big finish. Naruto began concentrating a lot of energy into the X-Buster. Got it, cross combo. Neptune unleashed her skill against the witch to ward her away from Naruto, and If was quick to join in the assault while Kampa remained close to him with Arisman doing the same, demon flames. If triggered her skill to damage the witch but had to take evasive action against the retaliatory attacks before being supported by Arisman, who used lightning fur to push her back. A high-pitched humming could be heard from the X-Buster to signal its complete charge. Okay, I'm good to go. Naruto dashed towards the witch and somersaulted into the air and took aim at the target. Full charged shot. He fired a large blue energy shot which is accompanied by 2 red energy torrents as they swirled around it. The witch attempted to block it, but the shot was too powerful as it drove her into the cave wall, denting it before falling to the ground on one knee. Variable weapon system unlocked. Special weapons available. Neptune floated over to pick up the key fragment from the ground. I'll be taking this back now. Ugh, this wasn't supposed to happen. The witch growled in frustration and glared at the group, especially Naruto and Neptune. I have to ask you, but do you know me? Asked Neptune. Of course I do. I know you like the palm of my hand. Then tell me, who am I? The witch was taken by surprise from the question. What are you talking about? Are you dizzy or something? Nep has lost her memory, if you know anything about her then please tell us, said Kampa. I don't think she'll tell us since she obviously doesn't like Neptune, said Naruto with a frown. Ha 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 ha. You. Neptune. Lost her memory. This is golden, the witch laughed out loud. I was worried when I lost sight of you, but I see that luck is on my side. Hey, stop laughing at her, it's not funny, said Erisman with a frown. But it is to me. Think I'll let you hold on to the key fragment for now, see you all next time, especially you Megaman. Wait. Neptune reached out to stop the witch, who waved her hand to release a blinding flash of light which dimmed to reveal that she had disappeared. She's gone. She got away, but who was that? Seems like she really doesn't like you, asked If. I don't know, if only I could speak to Histy, she would know who she is, said Neptune. Speaking of which, Naruto cancelled his transformation and Model X floated before him. What's all this about being sealed away, and why did she call me a Megaman? I believe it. Best that we leave this cave to someplace safer before I can explain everything to you, said Model X, making him groan a bit. Alright, fine, this better be worth the wait, said Naruto. Then he noticed that the others are looking at him. What is it? Are you talking to that floating piece of metal? Asked Neptune. You mean you can't hear him? Asked Naruto, receiving shakes from them. Sorry, but only the user whom the biometal is matched with can communicate with each other, so I suggest speaking with your mind, said Model X. I can hear him though, said K9. Probably because you're my navigator, Naruto then explained to the group. Guess I'm the only one who can talk to it. Anyways, let's get out of here so we can talk about other important matters like the monsters coming out of the discs, said If. Okay, then let's go to my place so we can rest. I'm feeling kind of tired myself, said Kampa. Neptune reverted to her normal form. Alright everyone, homewards to where the pudding awaits me. Naruto shook his head in amusement. He would have done the same thing when it comes to ramen. The group began making their way of the monster cave to Plankton to talk about what has just happened and come up with ideas to figure it out. I couldn't have imagined that the monsters came from the disc, said If, who was currently in the living room of Kampa's home along with Kampa herself, Naruto, Erisman and Neptune upon their return from the cave beneath Virtua Forest. I don't think anyone would have expected it. We're just lucky that we did and now know how to deal with them, said Naruto as Model X hovered next to him with Erisman looking at the biometal in curiosity. But now we can beat the monsters by the source and they won't come out anymore, and that will help everybody, said Kampa cheerfully. About the disc, how about we call it the enemy disc, said If. Kampa tilted her head in mild confusion. Enemy disc. There's no doubt that there are more of them, which means that there will be more monsters appearing as long as they're around. That's not good. Don't worry about it, Kampa-chan, we'll find a way to get rid of all the monsters in due time, said Naruto with a foxy grin, causing the Pinkette to smile as well. Pudding really hits the spot after a hard day's work. Do you have any more, Kampa? Neptune was currently gorging herself on said confectionery and was obviously not paying attention to the conversation. Everyone stared silently at the amnesiac girl, who now noticed with a confused look on her face. What's the matter? Why so serious? Are you kidding me? If grumbled in disbelief. Iffy. Nep get tired after she changes, so can you let it go, said Kampa. She's got a point there, even I felt a bit drained when I mega-merged with Model X, said Naruto. Now that you mention it, I was wondering just what it is and why it helped us, said If as she stared at the floating biometal. I did say that I would explain everything to you after the battle, said Model X. For starters, I am what you call a biometal, that is a mechanical artifact which houses a soul, usually of a legendary hero from a past era. I am not the only one, as there are many others that contain souls of many other heroes. Us biometals are better known for our ability to merge with a person who is a suitable biomatch, giving him her incredible power. This ability is called Mega Merge, which was what we did earlier before. I see. I'm guessing that Arfwar is the name of the witch since she was surprised to see you. I take it that you know each other, asked Naruto curiously. Unfortunately the biometals and I know her, there used to be a man whose name was Vent, with his biomatch being special to the point that he could use more than one biometal, which made him very powerful, and he served to protect GAM Industry, with R4 being a companion of ours. Model X let out a sad sigh, but everything changed on the day we were betrayed. R4 deceptively separated us from Vent, then found a way to seal us away and destroyed Vent before he could find a way to rescue us, as she ensured that we would be helpless without a biomatch. I somehow found a way to breach my ceiling and escape, but I couldn't do any more as I was unable to find someone I could mega merge with until I met you. So do you know where the others are? Asked Naruto. Unfortunately I do not, as she had placed us in different hidden locations. It will be difficult to find them, said Model X. No worries, I'm sure we can find them during our search for the key fragments. Now let me relay what you told me to the others, said Naruto. Then he went ahead to inform Neptune and the girls, who were surprised to hear. Surprising to hear that someone like her has been around for a long time. I thought only the goddesses could live that long, said If. And she's also collecting the key fragments too, said Erisman. Then we'll just have to get them before she does, said Neptune cheerfully. Yesy, let's get going right away, said Kompa in agreement. Wanna come with us to look for the fragments too, Iffy? It would be more fun and safer too. If simply shrugged her shoulders. Sure, why not? Not like I have an agenda, so I might as well tag along for the ride, and I'm not sure leaving you three alone would be a good idea. Hey! Naruto playfully glared, as if simply smirked in response. She definitely has your number on that one, said K9 with a grin. Naruto chose to ignore the AI, so the question is, where do we go to next? How about we go to La Station, since it seems like a good place to start, If suggested. Looks like we have a course set, now to blaze the trail, said Neptune excitedly. Then we'll need to head to Plane Tower to travel to the next destination. Alright, let's go. Neptune ran out of the room before anything more could be said. Nepchan, wait, I don't think you know where it is. Naruto hopped off the sofa with Erisman jumping into his hood as he ran after her. If and Kompa looked at each other and sighed. Naruto quickly caught up with a sheepish Neptune, who had just realized that she doesn't know where Plane Tower was located, though he had to admit that he too doesn't know where it is either, despite having been exploring the place during his time here. Well, if we don't know where it is, then we'll just have to ask someone who does know, said Neptune. She looked around before setting eyes upon a particular person, like her. Naruto looked to recognize whom she was pointing at. Hey, I know her. You do? Yup, she helped me out the first time I came here, said Naruto as they approached the girl, and he called out to her, hey Broccoli-chan. Said girl turned round and immediately recognized the blonde, but not the girl though. Oh, it's Naruto NYU. Broccoli? She looks more like a Puchiko to me with that cuteness, said Neptune. It's Broccoli, not Puchiko NYU. Let's not split pairs, okay? Broccoli was now pouting at being ignored. You're terrible at listening, NYU. She's not wrong about that, said Model X. Now you two, we came to ask Broccoli-chan for directions to Plane Tower, remember? Broccoli turned towards the blonde. Well, NYU, just head down there and you'll see a sign for it, NYU. Sweet. Thank you, we've got to run now. Bye-bye. Neptune grabbed Naruto's arm and pulled him along. Hey, take it easy, Nep-chan. Naruto stumbled a bit, though he couldn't help but blush a bit since a girl had actually taken the initiative to touch him, unlike the ones back home. That wouldn't hesitate to punch him for little to no good reason whatsoever. The duo found their way to their destination and went inside to find themselves at the edge of the land with a large gateway of sorts, where they found If and Kompa waiting for them, much to their mild embarrassment, though Neptune's attention was easily taken by the scenery. The ground, it split open. This must be where the ancient battle ensued. A battle where a goddess and an evil god seal each other into their weapons, said Neptune in a dramatic manner. What is she talking about? Asked If with a quirked eyebrow. Nep says a lot of random things, but you'll get used to it, said Kompa. If you say so. But still, for losing her memory, Nep sure knows a lot. Which kinda reminds me, if they have delivered the new game which I had pre-ordered before coming here, the trailer was awesome when I saw its story and gameplay, said Naruto thoughtfully. So what is this place anyways? This is a sky harbor, it's where we go to get to the other lands. The lands aren't connected so we need to go through here, Kampa explained. Neptune tilted her head in confusion. How do we get across? Oh, I know. Jumping right? While saying, wahoo. I can't help but think of a mustache and a plumber's outfit upon hearing that, said Naruto. She's quite eccentric, isn't she, said Model X. Of course not, we need to go to the Basilicom to fill in the papers and gain the approval to cross over to La Station, said If. The group headed over to said place which seems to be resemblance to that of a cathedral where they met the head of staff dressed like a staff. There they filled in the required forms although there was a slight mishap concerning Neptune's name constantly being mispronounced. The group wanted to meet with the goddess but were told that she has been absent for some time now so they left the Basilicom and went across the sky harbor. Wow, this place is all steampunky. Iffy, what's this place called again? The group had finally arrived at their destination after crossing the sky harbor. Like Neptune had said earlier, the city's theme is based on steampunk with the numerous factories and industries while being rather dark and smoky. This place is called La Station which is ruled by CPU Black Heart, it's obscured by various industries, said If. Erisman popped his head out of the hood to look around. I don't really like this place so much. The pollution here is quite much, I doubt it's healthy for the residents here, said Model X. So, does the theme of the land match with that of the goddess preferences? Asked Neptune. No, the CPUs are here to protect us. It's us humans that shape the land, If explained. Ah, that's realistic. What do you think of this place, Kampa? Asked Neptune. The factories and chimneys remind me of an industrial revolution. I'm not really into this kind of thing, said Kampa, looking a bit uncomfortable. Well, now that we're here, let's head over to this land's Basilicom and meet with the CPU to get some clues on where the key fragment could be, said Naruto. Alright then, let's go, said Neptune. The group then set out towards their next destination, but after 10 minutes of walking with no sign of the building. It's easy to conclude that they're somehow lost, which they haven't realized it just yet. It didn't help that Naruto's G-pad doesn't contain a detailed map of the place since he only has one of Gamindustry and another of Plankton. Hey Iffy, are we there yet? Asked Neptune for the 13th time. That's odd, I was pretty sure that the Basilicom was in this direction, said If confusedly. Don't tell me we're lost. I hope not, but it's been a while since I came here. Let's ask someone. I think you should have done that from the very beginning, said K9 sarcastically. Well, how about that? I'm going on an adventure-looking person over there, said Neptune while pointing at someone ahead. Everyone looked to see a girl with long red hair which is tied into a ponytail with a white ribbon. She wears a black short shirt with sleeves above the elbow under a white tank top held with a brown belt near the bottom. On top of it is a short opened red and white jacket with gold lining with a pair of matching denim short shorts with a thick brown and gold belt. She also wears matching shoes, an orange and white pouch strapped to her right upper legs, a blue scarf, and a pair of black fingerless gloves with thick white cuffs. Hello, you with the red hair. Neptune called out as she approached with the others following her. Huh, the girl turned towards them with a look of confusion. What is it? We want to meet Lady Blackheart, but can you tell us where to go so we can meet her? Asked Neptune. Lady Blackheart? Oh, you mean Lady Noir. Just head down that path, take a right and you'll see the Basilicom, said the girl. Looks like the general direction was correct after all, thank you, said If gratefully. The girl smiled in response. Got to help each other in need, right? Well, since we've met, do you mind if I ask you your name? Asked Neptune. My name is Neptune, and this here is Kampa, Iffy and Naruto with his little friend Erisman. My name is Falcom, I'm a newbie adventurer. If you're in a pickle and you need help, just give me a holler. That's nice of you, let's hope that we meet again for a quest or something else. See you later, said Naruto with a foxy grin as they went on their way with the direction given to them. Falcom watched the group leave and smiled to herself. I never expected to see them in this dimension, although the boy is a new addition, he looks cute too with those whisker marks. The group arrived at the last station Basilicom and went inside where they met with one of the staff members of the place. Then Neptune spoke up. "Excuse me, we came to see Lady Blackheart, is she around?" asked Neptune. The staff member frowned in response. "Who are you kids? This isn't a playground, now scram. Hey, that's no way to treat your guests. We really need to meet with the CPU, we're trying to get Nepnep's memory back," said Kompa politely. "I don't care about you reasons for being here, now leave," said the staff member. Naruto stepped before Neptune and Kompa with a glare. "What's your problem? We just want to meet with the CPU and you're being so rude to us. You all don't belong here and no one cares about your reasons for meeting her, now get out." Hearing that irritated Naruto to the point that his eyes turned red and his canines were slowly poking through his lips. K9 was quick to notice and frowned in worry. "Please calm down Naruto," said Model X in an attempt to placate his new friend. "Wow, so much for civility from the Basilicom," said If with a small frown. "They say clothes make the man, but I guess the CPU isn't all that great. Say what you want." "I could care less what Blackheart is called," the staff member retorted. "Hey! You got a group of cute girls and a cool guy here pleading. Come on, let us meet her." Neptune whined. "Let's go Naruto. We're wasting our time here," said If. "Iffy, are you giving up already? It's game over if you do. Let's just go." If grabbed hold of Neptune and Naruto and proceeded to drag them out with Kompa following after them. Her action snapped Naruto out of his anger as his eyes reverted to blue and the canines shrunk back to normal size. Soon they were out of the Basilicom and on the main streets of La Station, but Neptune and Naruto weren't happy with what happened back there, and the former was more audible about it. "I'm so mad. The Basilicom is one thing, but Iffy, you're another." "Why did we leave?" asked Neptune with a pout. "Didn't you notice? He didn't show any respect to their CPU at all," If pointed out to them. Kompa nodded in affirmation. "Oh yes, he didn't treat the goddess name with respect." "That's weird." "How so?" asked Arisman with Naruto listening. "Are they just being buddy-buddy?" asked Neptune confusedly. "Well, there's no way the people of the land would call their CPU by name. Remember the person at the Plankton Basilicom? Despite his quirks, he still treated the goddess by addressing her properly. But here, they're treating their CPU with scorn, which is rather strange." "I see what you mean, it might that there's something else going on here," said Naruto, looking much calmer, which made K9 sigh with relief. "Do you know anything since you've traveled around the world, Iffy?" asked Kompa. "Sorry Kompa, I mostly stayed at Plankton so I don't have much info," said If. "So much for the adventuring character, Iffy. But don't worry, we won't kick you out just because you faked your resume," said Neptune with an innocent smile. "Kind of ironic this is coming from someone who lost their memory, said If. Neptune chuckled sheepishly while Naruto smiled in amusement. "So what's our next step from here?" asked Naruto curiously. "I propose that we do some quests while we're still here. We still have money, right? So why do we need to do any quests unless of course you had used up all your funds for your own pleasures," said Neptune. "We still have money, it's not like I sneak out to buy pudding like you Nep," said If, looking straight at said person who took a step back in shock. "What dash? Why you knew?" Neptune was flabbergasted. "Dead obvious, you thought that I didn't notice." She glanced sideways to see Naruto snickering. "I wouldn't be laughing if I were you Naruto. I know that you've also been secretly eating cup ramen when you thought that no one was looking." Now it was Naruto's turn to be shocked. Are his skills of stealth getting rusty? He needs to fix this. Anyways, if you recall that we found a key fragment over at Plankton, we might be able to find one over here at La Station. "Sounds like a good idea Iffy-chan, let's start looking," said Naruto. "It's currently the best plan so far," said Model X before floating into his pocket. Sometime later, the group had gone to the guild and had accepted a request and now are currently searching for the person who has issued the request. Kompa seems to have found the person as she called out to the others. "Is that her?" The person who wants us to fight monsters, said the pinkette as she pointed for them to see who it is. She is a woman with short blue hair and wearing a pair of goggles on her forehead with a bandage patch on the left cheek. Her outfit consists of a deep pink open jacket with multiple pockets and buttons, a black tube top underneath and exposing her midriff, and a white scarf wrapped around her neck. She's kinda small. I was thinking more of a large burly man or something, said Neptune. That's stereotyping Nep-chan, it isn't always like that, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. She's staring this way and now she's waving at us. I think she's the right person, said Kampa cheerfully. Guess she came to the same conclusion like we did, said If as the woman approached them. So it's you four. You're gonna take the work I ordered. Are you sure you'll be okay? Asked the woman, apparently a bit skeptic. More than okay, nice to meet you. I'm If. This is Kampa, Neptune, Naruto and his pet Arisman, If introduced herself and the others. Well, I guess you wouldn't have come if you weren't okay. My name is Chian and I run a small factory called Passe, the woman introduced herself, no point standing around here, follow me. They followed after the woman till she beckoned them into a small building which they came to discover it to be a cafeteria, mildly surprising them. Didn't you say you ran a factory? This place looks more like a cafeteria, If pointed out. My parents run the cafeteria, the factory is next door. You'd rather speak at a cleaner place, right? Take a seat, Chian explained. Dibs on the bar stool. Neptune excitedly scampered over to sit on one of the bar stools and spun herself around a couple of times. With this cafeteria, you can order a heckloads of parfaits and puddings. That's not gonna create revenue, you know. The factory isn't enough, so we make do with the cafeteria too, said Chian. Sorry to intrude, but could you tell us the details to the work? Asked If while seated on the bar stool with the rest. Even Arisman went to sit on one and Naruto playfully spun him around whilst listening in. Sure. I need you to take care of the monster around the trade route. It used to be safe, but recently, a large monster appeared from out of nowhere. With the route unsafe, all trade has halted. That sounds right up our alley, we'll be sure to take out that monster so you can resume with your business, said Naruto with determination. Good to know, with Avenir killing the market, we don't need any more problems, said Chian. Chian, what's this Avenir? Asked Kampa curiously. Chian looked at them in disbelief. Wait, you don't know Avenir? This is our first time coming here, so we don't really know about Avenir. Oh, said Arisman, looking rather dizzy and almost fell off when Naruto caught the little Digimon and placed him on his lap. Avenir is a major company that is pretty much ruling La Station. They make everything from goods to weapons, and is controlling the market. People like can't compete with them, so our products don't sell well, said Chian with a frown, and it's not like they create work either. I know a few who closed shop already. That's terrible, it goes against antitrust laws, said Kampa with a frown. Not to mention that I don't see any sort of equality here, said Naruto with a frown. He had seen Shikamaru play a couple of games themed on business tycoons and got a few bits of info from them to get an idea of what Chian was talking about. So much has changed since the biometals and I were gone. What has happened to the piece we fought to protect? Asked Model X. Didn't you talk with the CPU? It's hard to believe that she would let something like this go, said If. Myself and others have tried, but Lady Blackheart was gone too long. Avenir placed their goons in the Basilicom, now they pretty much own it. Chian responded, such a waste, since Lady Blackheart has just returned from Celestia. Avenir won't let us near the lady at all. That explains the rude reception when we went there earlier. Before, they know that she would definitely try to resolve all this and that would disrupt their position of power, said Naruto. Got it in one go, Kit, said K9 in approval. I got an idea. What say we sneak into where CPU Blackhearth lives and meet her face to face? We can gain info on the key fragment and help Chian at the same time. It's quite the bargain, said Neptune. Okay Nep, let's go stealth mode and wait at Lady Blackhearth's room, said Kampa in agreement. I was expecting that idea to come from you, said K9 with a smirk. Shut up or I'll turn you off, Naruto grumbled in reply. Lady Black HRT, not Lady Black Hearth. But if you don't know where the lady is, the guards would just spot you, said Chian. Well, we have to try, right? Said Neptune with determination. I'm more the type to try and fail than not try all. Naruto smiled fondly at that, as he too tends to do that a lot. Not this time, Nep. If we play this wrong, we'll never meet the lady. And if that happens, we'll be harming Chian and folks more than they need. If pointed out to them, let's take care of Chian's orders first, let's take it in steps, okay? Alright Iffy-chan, we'll follow your advice in the meantime. So where is it that we're to go to find the monster? Asked Naruto. You can find it over at West Wind Valley. I advise that you four be careful, said Chian. Will do, let's go team, said Neptune excitedly. Sure thing Nep-chan, said Naruto fondly as Arisman jumped back into his hood. The group left the cafeteria and set out of the city with K9 serving as their navigator, thanks to Naruto having the mindset to upload a map of La Station into the G-pad to avoid getting themselves along the way for the second time, with Naruto occupying himself by using the plans and materials to make a couple more healing pods, but made sure to reserve some materials for other plans. Soon enough they arrived at their marked destination. We're here. So where is this monster thingy going to appear? Asked Neptune excitedly. Asterisk huff huff asterisk nep nep, Naru wait I'm so tired, Kompa leant on her knees and panting in slight fatigue. Asterisk sigh asterisk with those two this pumped up, they'll lose their spunk when we need it, said If. Who needs a last-gen yellow stamina bar? I got infinite stamina, said Neptune with gusto. Ditto over here, I'm not one for getting tired so easily, said Naruto with a foxy grin. It would have been unbelievable save for the fact that it's true, said K9 in a deadpan expression. Now let's go wipe out the monsters in the area and report back to Chian, said Neptune while moving on ahead with the others following after her. The group set out and began encountering monsters which were different from the ones they're familiar with back at Plankton, like Cardbird, Sunflower, Pal Shell, Auron and more. They were able to take them out and acquire drops after the battles. Arisman was being especially helpful with his treasure hunting skill, which has upgraded to level 2 as he brought back treasures like STR Booster, Parallaxin, a Fight LV1 Idea chip and even a Snow Bonbon accessory. The team rose up a couple of levels past 15 along the way, but had to avoid the more dangerous monsters as they weren't strong enough yet to face them down. Asterisk huff huff asterisk IFFYW8 so tired, Neptune was practically running on fumes after the long trek. You've got to be kidding me, I thought you had infinite stamina, said If with a roll of her eyes. Well yeah, but there's too many slants and slopes here, Neptune whined in complaint. I don't see what that big deal is, I'm yet to get winded. Naruto crossed his arms in confusion. Arisman was all tuckered out in his hood. You're a case of your own, Naruto, after all those battles you still look like you're ready for more, said If. She speaks the truth. You definitely possess a lot of stamina and durability, said Model X, having attested to that. My tooties hurt, I can't take another step. Let's take a rest, Naru. Kompa looked at Naruto with teary eyes, causing the blonde's heart to immediately give in to her, though it's not like he was going to say no anyways. Okay Kompa-chan, let's take a 10-minute break, said Naruto. He looked at If to get an affirmation, which she provided with a nod. Hearing that, Kompa sat on the grassy area with a look of relief on her face, and Neptune was quick to join her. Finally rest yay. Oh, since we're resting, let's have a snack. I got pudding. Neptune took out the pudding with a look of glee. I bet the pudding would taste perfect in this wilderness around us. Suddenly they heard a loud screech and looked up to see a large bird-like monster hovering above their heads and looking down at them with eyes full of hostility. Naruto then realized that it looked similar to the picture which Chian had shown them concerning the identity of the monster. Iffy-chan, isn't that the monster Chian told us about? Asked Naruto to confirm the target. Yeah, which means that this must be the place where it appears often, said If while equipping her weapons. Oh come on you two, you'd think I would fall for your tricks, said Neptune in an act of denial. Mr. Monster, can you wait please? We were trying to take a break here, said Kompa. And just when I was about to bite into this tasty pudding, Neptune suddenly transformed into her HDD form with a look of anger as she brandished her katana. You shall pay. Feel the wrath and agony worthy of tainting pudding time. Nep's really angry now, and it's worse now that she's transformed, said Kampa worriedly. It looks like anything pudding related is enough to jolt her. Good, she's ready, said If in approval. You can get the same effect with this kid only that it's ramen related, said K9 with a smirk. Well, pudding doesn't make me ready, I'm still tired, said Kampa. Don't worry Kampa-chan, this fight won't take long. Naruto summoned Kansho and Bakuya to his hands and took a stance for the upcoming battle. Stop talking and let's beat this monster up already, said Neptune in a commanding manner. Alright. Naruto had K9 identify the monster to be a Hraesvelgr before dashing towards the monster and using Charger to unleash a barrage of slashes upon the monster. However, the attack missed as the monster bird flew backwards to get out of the range of the attack and was about to retaliate when it vaulted off Naruto's shoulder to launch herself at it to strike several times with her newly acquired claws before flipping away to land back on the ground next to Naruto. The Hraesvelgr screeched on anger and swooped towards the duo in an attempt to shred them with its sharp talons when a purple blur intercepted, which turned out to be Neptune. Cross combo. Neptune rushed at the monster and slashed up to 5 hits, with the 6th launching it into the air, then flying after it with the final slash to drive it to the ground. Charger. Naruto activated the skill once more and this time was able to land several strikes before the monster flew away from them. Lightning Fur. Arisman jumped out of Naruto's hood to launch a barrage of quills coated in electricity to attack the Hraesvelgr as it retreated. Demon Flames. If activated, her skill to trigger multiple explosions of flames erupted around the monster before combining to create one large final fiery explosion for maximum damage. The Hraesvelgr suddenly switched targets to Kampa, who was taken by surprise and wasn't able to put up a defense. The monster drew close to strike when something appeared before it and impacted with a metallic clang, then slowed down to stop, revealing to be Naruto, who had moved to defend Kampa but suffered a bit of damage. Don't even think for a second that we weren't paying attention, Featherbrain. Here's payback, execution. Naruto pushed the Hraesvelgr back before performing a strong cross slash to inflict a lot of damage, then Neptune flew past and slashed it several times before knocking back with a roundhouse kick. Thank you Naruto-kun, now let me heal you, said Kampa before activating her first aid skill on Naruto while Neptune and If held the Hraesvelgr at bay. Thanks for the healing Kampa-chan. Just a little more and this bird is plucked, said Naruto. Blade Raid. He threw the short swords towards the monster to hit it and caught them as he ran forward before rolling out of the way to avoid a slash attack from its talons. Arisman, prep up for a fastball special. Naruto stretched a hand out for the Digimon to jump onto it. Here we go. He spun round before throwing Arisman with great strength. Kenzen Dive. Arisman curled up into a spiny ball and spun rapidly before slamming into the Hraesvelgr, then bounced away. Here I go, Critical Edge. Neptune dashed forward to slash the monster, then followed up with an uppercut to launch it into the air, then slashed once more with great speed. It's on its last legs, let's take it down once and for all, Ify-chan. Naruto called out. Right. If responded in affirmation. The duo stood at opposite sides of the Hraesvelgr, then charged forward with great speed in a pincer formation, then unleashed a double slash with their weapons in a cross pattern and landing at opposite sides as the monster let out a final screech before dispersing into pixels, signaling its defeat. Phew, that was some fight, said Neptune. Really? It was rather quick because of you, Nep, said Kampa. Tell me about it. But we finally got the job done and I even unlocked some new moves and a rare drop to go with it, said Naruto as he and K9 were checking out his stats on the G-pad. And you are growing more in experience from the battles as well. It will definitely come in handy as you face stronger monsters along the way, said Model X. Can we go back now? I'm getting kinda hungry, said Arisman, back in his usual seat of Naruto's hood. Hey, wouldn't it have been faster if Nep in Trans-AM mode flew us here? Asked If. Neptune shook her head in response. No, there's no way I could, you all here. This is quite tiring, you know. How about being our taxi for one, putting each direction? said Kompa, this isn't any ordinary pudding, I'm talking about the super premium one. Neptune twitched for a moment but remained sturdy. That's enticing, but I think I'll pass. That's too bad. It would have been so easy if we just flew instead. Seems more to me like a waste of energy over something trivial, said K9 with a quirked eyebrow which Naruto chose to ignore. Enough on this already, I'm changing back, said Neptune. If suddenly frowned and quickly spoke up, hold no Nep, don't undo your transformation just yet. What's the matter, Iffy? You won't be able to sway me with any more pudding. That's not what she meant, there's someone watching us from over there, said Naruto with a frown while looking at the same direction where If was looking at. What? I didn't expect you to notice. Well done. Someone walked out from behind the rocks and surprised everyone with her appearance. It is a girl with snow-white hair which goes down below her shoulders somewhat, with her fringe standing above her eyes and bangs caressing her face. She dons a black and white suit and a mechanical appearance which also exposes a mild amount of her melons. Her sleeves are pure black, with silver patches in the bicep and tricep area, her gauntlets are black with silver protrusions on the knuckle, and a pair of three-feathered cyan wings hovered behind to keep her afloat in the air. It's been a while, Neptune, of course you probably don't remember me now, said the girl. Iffy. Is she? Asked Neptune. Yes, she does look like you in that form of yours, said If. Which means that she's most likely to know who you are, said Naruto while looking at the girl, though he blushed a bit upon staring at her melons for a moment before quickly looking away and ignoring the smirk that K9 was throwing his way. Indeed, I know Neptune very well, said the girl. Neptune blinked in surprise. Really? Then tell me, who am I? The girl laughed in amusement. Haha. Being asked for help by Neptune. Very well, I'll tell you. That's great, Nep. We finally met someone who knows you, said Kompa happily. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad one. The last person who knew Neptune tried to steal her power and destroy us, said Naruto with a small frown. It's best to be cautious, said Model X. You have a point there, Naruto, said If. But there is one condition, said the girl with a smirk. Condition? What's that? Asked Neptune confusedly. Do you have to ask? The girl summoned a sword into her hand. Defeat me in battle. I figured something like this would happen. I'll be needing your help on this one. No doubt she's just as strong as Neptune in her transformed state, said Naruto as the others armed themselves for battle. I'm always ready, let us begin, said Model X before flying into Naruto's hand, who held it before him. Mega Merge. Biolink established. MEGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome light before fading away to reveal him in his Mega Man X form and stood at the ready. Don't think that will change anything. The girl flew towards Neptune and swing her blade, Paralyze Fencer. She jabbed rapidly with Neptune using the flat side of her katana to block the attack but got hit a couple of times before moving away. The girl wanted to press the offense but had turned round to block a strike from IF's claws before pushing her away. Demon Flames. If launched, multiple explosions of flames erupted around the girl before combining to create one large final fiery explosion, but it didn't seem to have had any effect whatsoever. If had to jump away from the girl's retaliation then deflect the barrage of slashes, Neptune swooped in to help by using cross combo to push the girl back. Back off. Naruto dashed forward and launched a straight punch for the girl to block with her sword. Time to try that new feature of yours, X, Shotgun Ice. He transformed his right hand into the X-Buster and took aim before firing a shard of ice that struck the girl, knocking her back. Awesome. Not bad, but let's see you handle this. Venom Fencer. The girl rushed up to Naruto and jabbed him several times with her sword, which was glowing purple, before knocking him back to the ground. Naruto tried to get up but found that he couldn't move so well and that he felt sick. Kit, you've been poisoned. It must have been from that attack of hers. K9 called out in alert. Naruto gritted his teeth at the pain inside his body. Darn it. Naruto needs help. Arisman called out to the others. Leave Naruto alone. Critical Edge. Neptune flew at the girl with a slash which was blocked, but she launched her into the air with an uppercut and slashed once more to inflict a decent amount of damage. Hang on Naru, I'll help you. Kampa ran over to Naruto, then used one of her skills, Be Cured. She fused a white orb of energy into Naruto and he felt the pain fade away immediately afterwards. Thanks a lot Kampa-chan, said Naruto gratefully. Kampa smiled brightly, you're welcome. Now it's time for some payback. Naruto dashed towards the girl who saw him coming and swung her sword, but he ducked low and slid along the ground whilst charging up his X-Buster till he was right in front of her while aiming at her torso. Take this, charge shot, then he fired a powerful blast of green energy to send her flying. I'm not done just yet, Storm Tornado. He followed up by firing a horizontal cyclone of air which struck her multiple times before she crashed to the ground. Most impressive Naruto, keep it up, said Model X. Show M what for Kit, said K9 excitedly. The girl hovered from the ground to glare at Naruto, I'm not done just yet. Yet being the keyword. If rushed up to the girl and attacked rapidly with her claws, which the opponent managed to block most of the attacks while still being struck at several points before backing away, and was then attacked by Neptune with a cross-combo attack which forced her to defend yet again. Just a little more, said Arisman. I know. Naruto ran up to the girl and attacked with a jump kick which was blocked with her sword, but he fired a point-blank buster shot and used the recoil to backflip to a safe distance for if to attack multiple times with her claws, and jumped away from a retaliatory attack, only Neptune to add her own attacks into the mix. This assault placed the girl's mind in a state of temporary confusion which gave Naruto enough time to prepare for a powerful attack as he charged up the X-Buster to its max. It's all over with this, full-charged shot. He fired a large blue energy shot which is accompanied by two red energy torrents as they swirled around it and slammed into the target, knocking her down to the ground with scorch marks all over her body and armor. The girl groaned as she slowly got up from the ground. TCH. Even if I was outnumbered, me lose. What's going on? Or it this my power? No, I won't believe it. Neptune approached the girl. Now that I've won, tell me what you know about me. Don't think you have won it all by just downing me, the girl retorted with a glare. I admit that we did outnumber you, but still, a win is a win. Yeah, you didn't exactly set up any rules, so don't try going back on our deal, said Naruto. That was the agreement made, said Model X with K9 nodding in affirmation to the biometal statement. The girl shook her head in denial. No, I refuse to accept this. She suddenly got up and flew away before anyone could react. What the, hey, come back here. Naruto yelled in annoyance. Go after her, Nep, said If urgently. Right. Neptune was about to fly after her when she suddenly reverted to her normal form, much to everyone's surprise. Whoa, what? Nep. What are you doing changing form now? I'm so sorry Iffy, I used up all my juice already, I'm so tired. No time to be tired, let's go. She's our chance to get info on you, said If. Then I'm going ahead, I should be able to catch up at least in this form. Naruto turned to run when he felt something latch onto his back and looked to see that it was Neptune. Nep-chan, what are you doing? Onwards my blue steed, the enemy is over yonder, said Neptune pointing ahead of them. What do you mean by oh forget it? Naruto took off down the dirt path and kicking up dust with Neptune whooping like a cowgirl. The duo ran a fair bit of distance when they caught sight of someone hiding behind a large boulder. Look over there. There's the target, launch me with your fastball special, said Neptune. Right. Naruto grabbed hold of Neptune then threw her at the target. Wait, what? Gotcha. Neptune wrapped her arms around their target and getting a yelp out of it, gotta catch 'em all. Wait. What? Why? The voice spoke up in a panic. I'm not gonna let go till you spill everything you got. Naruto approached them and took note of something very important as he stood there in shock. Nep-chan, I don't think that's the girl we were chasing after. What? Neptune let go and took a few steps back to see who it is. She is a girl with a slender figure, red eyes, and long black hair which is kept tied into 2 pigtails with blue ribbons and go down to her waist. Her fringe isn't kept parted and she has 2 bangs that go down to her chin. Her attire consists of a maid-like black top with golden trimmings and white frills around her upper arm and chest, and also reveals a certain portion of her melons. Her skirt is white with black trimming and is rather frilled compared to her top, and goes down to her lower thigh. "Looks like we got the wrong person," said Neptune blankly. "Why are you here?" The girl took a step back in shock, much to the confusion of Naruto and Arisman, who was currently sitting on his shoulder after the wild ride. We were looking for a girl who might have come by here. She's black, shiny, and was flying. I figured she would be easy to spot. That description reminds me of an insect pest." Then the girl pointed in a direction. "Well, there was someone going down that direction. Like really fast." "Oh shucks, she was our important hint and all." "If he's not gonna like hearing that she got away," said Neptune, looking a bit depressed. "Tell me about it. This is the second time that an opportunity to figure out your secret identity slipped through our fingers," said Naruto. Arisman piped up, "Don't give up, I'm sure we'll get another chance." "And we would have to fight for it too." Naruto reverted to his normal self as Model X floated next to him. The girls stared at them in silence, something the trio were quick to notice. "Sorry about that, just talking to ourselves," said Neptune. "By the way, what are you doing here and you're all scraped up?" The girl blinked in confusion before looking at herself to see that she was indeed covered in bruises. "Maybe she was attacked by monsters," said Arisman. "In that case, you have nothing to worry about as we're here now," said Neptune confidently. The girl mumbled, "Right, you were the monsters. Do you say something?" "Oh, nothing. Plus these are just a few scratches, nothing to bawl over." "Few isn't exactly the best word to describe your current condition. We need to get someone to take a look at you," said Naruto with a look of concern. "And we have the person suitable for the job, we can have her check on you," said Neptune. "It's not really that big of a deal," said the girl, but they weren't convinced in the least. "No worries, we won't charge you," said Neptune. Then she proceeded to call out to the others, Where are you, Kampa? Here, Kampa, come here." "Are you seriously calling Kampa-chan that way?" asked Naruto with a sweat drop. "I believe she is," said K9. "I don't think calling as if calling for a dog will work," said the girl skeptically. "Did you call Nep-Nep?" asked Kampa, who appeared before them. "You're kidding me." Her eyes were wide in disbelief. "Are you surprised? I am, after all, the heroine. I have 108 skill styles, you know," said Neptune proudly. "Stop lying, Nep. We caught up right before you started yelling, and I don't need to be told that you two lost the girl we were supposed to chase after and found another one," said If. "Sorry about that, Ify-chan, we messed up," said Naruto apologetically. "No worries, there's always next time." "By the way, was there something you need?" asked Kampa. "Yeah, oh right. In all our excitement, we forgot to ask for her name." Neptune turned towards the girl. "My name is Neptune, and these are my friends Kampa, Ify, Naruto and his friend Arisman." "That's If, nice to meet you," If was quick to correct. "What's your name?" asked Neptune. The girl muttered lowly. "What? Noir. Noir, that's a fancy name. I bet you don't have any friends and stuff," said Neptune with a smile. "Wadash." Noir looked like she had just been pinched before tick marks appeared on her head. "Why you? Oh, is this how you greet someone you meet for the first time? Oh, lighten up, it's just a joke. I was trying to be funny here." "Well, your joke isn't exactly material." Naruto turned towards Noir with a smile. "It's nice to meet you, Noir-chan, hope we can get along." "Oh, okay," Noir stammered in response. "Didn't we hear that name from somewhere before?" Model X muttered to himself. "Naruto has a point there." "Nep, can you help her, Kampa?" said If. "All righty, leave it to me," said Kampa cheerfully. "Hey! Ify! You took my line." Neptune pouted with a complaint. Leave it to you and we'll never get anything done, said If in a deadpan expression. Kampa took out her first aid kit and proceeded to tend to Noir with Naruto handing out a couple of healing pods to help heal her before finishing up by bandaging the cuts and bruises. Naruto was quite impressed with her current level of medical skills despite being a nurse in training. Here you go. I just cleaned the cuts and bandaged them, said Kampa happily. Noir smiled at the pinkette gratefully, thanks, this helps a lot. Kampa, is it? Are you Neptune's friend? Yesy. We've been best friends ever since Naruto and I found her speared to the ground, said Kampa. Naruto and K9 snickered in remembrance. Hey, you didn't need to tell her that. Neptune whined. Doesn't change the fact that seeing you staked to the ground was funny, Naruto chuckled in response, Noir giggled at the thought of it. By the way Noir, what were you doing in this dangerous place? Asked If with a small frown. And all scratched up, Kampa added. This certainly is a place to avoid venturing solo, said Model X. Noir looked rather hesitant to answer the question. If narrowed her eyes in suspicion, something is fishy here. Well I'm not sure too, well. Neptune then piped up, oh I know. You must be a fellow amnesiac. Huh? Oh yes, that's right. Amnesia. I can't remember a single thing, it must have happened when I was attacked, said Noir. That's terrible, said Erisman with concern. You too man we seem to be running into a lot of them, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. Wait, are we actually believing her? Asked If in disbelief. I doubt she has a reason to lie to us, especially since this is the first time we're meeting, said Naruto as a matter of factly. That's right, we fellow amnesiacs need to look out for each other, said Neptune. So what can we do to help Noir? How do we get her home? Asked Kampa with concern. Well how about the Basilicom? They should keep her safe in custody, said If, not noticing Noir flinch at the mention of the place. Naruto frowned at the suggestion, surely you haven't forgotten what those guys did to us when we went there, Iffy-chan. They'd kick Noir-chan out through the back door no sooner we passed through the front door. Erisman nodded in agreement, those guys were total meanies. Neru is right, they don't know how to treat their guests right, said Kampa. I have a great idea, why not have her tag along with us until her memory returns, said Neptune. Noir looked relieved but then was taken by surprise, wadash. Tag along, as in together. You don't like it? But we are memory loss buddies so let's stay together, Neptune insisted. It's safer than being at the Basilicom and more fun with friends too, said Kampa. Nepchan and Kampa-chan are right, it would be nice to have a cute girl like you with us too, said Naruto with a foxy grin, causing pink tinges to appear on Noir's cheeks. See cute me? Well I guess I could come along if you want me to, Noir stammered in response. If sighed before speaking up, since you two are so insistent, I don't really have much of a choice but to go along with it. Sweet. Neptune smiled before turning to Noir again, it's nice to meet you Noir. I guess so, said Noir rather quietly. La station, I'm home. Neptune raised her hands above her head as if to say bonsai as they arrived back at La station from their request over at West Wind Valley. Could you quit it with that creepy smile of yours, said If. Well I felt like something was shining down on me. Like, I felt I was back home, said Neptune, then she turned towards Noir, does anything about this place remind you of something? Noir shook her head in negative, no, nothing at all. This place was close to the dungeon, so I figured that you came from here. Maybe we could find someone who knows her, Erisman spoke up while sitting on Naruto's hair. Seems to be the best idea since we're doing the same for Nep, said Kampa thoughtfully. Noir then spoke to Neptune, you said you lost your memory, but are you okay? Heh, well not that great, really, said Neptune with a shrug of her shoulders, I know. Let's try banging our heads. I'll use a pillow and you try it on a wall. Wadash. Why should I do that? And why a pillow for you? Noir was flabbergasted upon hearing that. I figured that since I'm delicate and you're kinda hard-headed, so it could work out. Well, I have a better idea, how about I cover your face with a pillow instead? Noir suggested with a smirk on her face. Neptune took a step back in fear of how Noir was looking at her. See, come on Noir, I was just joking really. So, stripes or plain? I'll at least let you choose your design. Naruto went to stand in between them. Now you too, Nep-chan was just joking around. She was trying to have some fun with you. Neptune went to hide behind the blonde. Why yeah, I didn't mean anything more than that. Well, that joke was in bad taste. Moore crossed her arms and looked away from them with a huff. Nice to see Moore getting along with Nep and Naru, said Kompa happily. Well, besides that, I'm getting kind of hungry, so let's go to Chian and let her know that the monster is gone now, said If. Okay, we can also invite Moore for dinner too, let's go. The group then made their way to Chian's cafeteria and went inside to find said person currently at work behind the counter, so Neptune called out to her loudly as they entered. I'm back, and I beat up the monster real good, said Neptune cheerfully. You mean don't go acting like you did it all by yourself, said If. Even so, it's great to hear that. Now I don't have to worry about supplies, said Chian gratefully. Then she noticed someone new standing with them. Looks like you have someone new. Who is she? Her name is Noir. We found her injured and lost her memories while we were at West Wind Valley, Kompa explained. Is that so? Wait, Chian took a closer look and her eyes widened in surprise. CCC, could it be Lady Blackheart? Everyone turned towards Noir, who looked like a deer caught in the headlights. Noir, Lady Blackheart? Asked Kompa confusedly. What? Neptune was just as surprised. News at 10, the girl who lost her memory is actually the CPU? No wait, what are you talking about? Noir was waving her hands about frantically. I like to cosplay and sometimes dress like Lady Blackheart since I'm her biggest fan. Chian looked a bit disappointed. Is that it? You really had me fooled since I thought you were the lady in person. So that's how Lady Blackheart looks like. I gotta admit that she looks pretty cute, said Naruto admittedly. See cute? Me? Noir took a step back with her cheeks flushed red. Hey! That's not fair Naru, I'm supposed to be the cute one. Neptune pulled on Naruto's sleeve with a cute pout, making the blonde ninja rub the back of his head sheepishly. But it's really too bad though. Chian's wishes would have been granted if Noir really was the CPU, said Kompa sadly. Though I kind of find Noir cosplaying to be a bit creepy, said Neptune. Don't call me creepy, I have my own reasons for doing so, said Noir angrily. That's enough arguing. If turned to Chian, is there anything you need us to do before leaving? You're all leaving already. At least let me treat you to some eating, said Chian. Oh okay. If you don't, that is. The group were then seated on the bar stools to wait as Chian began cooking some food in the kitchen for some time before finally serving them. Once she was done, they soon came to find the meal to be quite delicious and so gave their compliments to the chef concerning it. The burger is so delish, said Neptune as she happily munched on her food. The soup is quite tasty. I feel all warm inside, said Kompa. I gotta say that your stir-fry noodles is to die for, said Naruto with relish. Chian smiled in response, glad for the positive reviews. It's my mother's prided menu. It's quite lavish, but are you sure that I can join in? Asked Noir a bit unsurely. It's no problem at all, plus food tastes much better when more people eat together. She's right about that, said If. Yuck. Who put eggplants in here? Those things deserve to die, said Neptune, looking revolted. You don't like eggplants, Nep, asked Kompa curiously. Dislike is not a good enough word, more like hate eggplants. I gotta admit that I don't like veggies all that much either, Naruto mumbled quietly. I got an idea. Noir could eat it since I heard that food can sometimes jog your memory. What? Noir blinked in confusion. Then you should follow your own suggestion since you're the one with memory loss too, so quit being picky about your food, said If sternly. Same goes for you too Naruto, unless you're trying to say that you don't like Chian's cooking. Naruto looked like he got pinched hard and looked a bit ashamed. Sorry about that, then he resumed eating his food. Come on Iffy, forcing someone to eat can be dangerous sometimes, especially for someone as delicate as me, Neptune quickly protested. So you say, but I know better now. Eat. If proceeded to feed a resisting Neptune forcefully. Please. Neptune barely spoke with the food being stuffed into her mouth. That looks quite uncomfortable, I hope she doesn't choke on it, said Model X worriedly. I wouldn't bet my credits on it, said K9 as they watched the spectacle. I hope that we aren't being too loud here, said Kompa while Moore continued to watch them silently before replying to her. Not at all, just having a lively dinner like this before, said Noir. Really? Well, since you're going to be with us, this won't be your last. I wanted to ask if there's anything I can do to help you. You want to help us? Asked Arisman from atop a bar stool. Well, I'm pretty strong with my sword, so I'm sure I can help you. Naruto then spoke up, I don't mind as long as the others are okay with it. Sure, it will be great to have you with us, said Neptune cheerfully. I'm okay with it too, said If in agreement. Wow, we must be on a roll in this game since we're now having a party of 5.5, said Neptune. Chien then spoke up, since you're having a good start, would you mind doing one more request for me? Can you use my weapon which I'm going to exhibit at the Technology Expo? Kompa tilted her head in confusion, Technolo what? Is it some kind of festival thingy? The expo is held in La Station, with companies showcasing their tech. There's also a tournament where the winner receives a trophy from the CPU. Chien explained to them. A trophy? Sounds like a great achievement. Can we take down Avenir with a trophy? Not exactly, we'll go for the win and be able to meet the lady in person to tell her what's going on, said Chien. That sounds like a pretty solid plan, it's part of the reason why you want us to test out your weapon, right? Said Naruto thoughtfully. Correct, I need to make it good enough to win the expo if we want to meet with Lady Blackheart. Easy peasy, so what exactly do you want us to do? Asked Neptune curiously. Just use it and give me some feedback on it. Okay, sounds simple enough. We can also use it during our quests too, said Kompa. Moore then spoke up, then how about doing some work for Avenir? Everyone turned to look at her in disbelief. What are you talking about, Moore? They're bad guys and we want to help Chien, not make things tough for her, said Neptune. Hang on, I think Moore is on to something here, said If. What do you mean? Asked Naruto confusedly. Avenir must have had problems with gathering materials like Chien, right? By working under them, we might be able to find out what they're planning to exhibit, Moore added. I see what you mean now, we'll be going undercover and search for any weakness to take down Avenir. I remember Irika-sensei teaching about it some time ago, said Naruto with eyes of understanding. But still, I don't feel it being right to work for those guys, said Neptune with a frown. I don't like Avenir either, Nep, but it won't hurt to know what we're up against, said If. Just bear with it, Nep, said Kompa. If you say so, Kompa. After dinner, Chien handed the Armas test model blade to Neptune to test its performance for her. The group left the cafeteria and made their way over to an inn to rest for the night, Naruto currently relaxing on his bed and using the G-pad to be checking on the stats of himself and Arisman while feeling a little giddy and wanting to use one of his new techniques in the fields against the monsters later on. Model X was also lecturing him a bit on the variable weapon system and how to properly use the effects of each attack to his advantage. They heard the door open and looked up to see Neptune walk inside while looking cheerful. Hey Nep-chan, what's up? Asked Naruto fondly. Chien gave me some pudding and I wanted to share, said Neptune. Sure, I could go for some pudding right about now. Naruto hopped off the bed with Arisman hopping up to his shoulder as always while Model X simply floated next to him. Great, let's go and invite Moore too. The blonde nodded in affirmation before they left the room and went towards where Noir's room was, but Neptune went inside without knocking and called out loudly to Noir, let's eat some pudding. Kia. Noir suddenly jumped into the air and landed on the bed before looking back at the duo in a panic. You didn't hear me say anything, did you? No, we didn't hear anything, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. But now we wanna what you said, maybe it's something embarrassing, said Neptune playfully. What are you saying, who would do something as stupid as that, said Noir with a frown. Anyways, what are you two doing here? Well, Chian gave me some pudding and I wanted to share it with you and Naruto. No, why don't you go and eat it by yourselves, asked Noir while looking away. It would be nice though, said Naruto. Yeah, so let's eat together, said Neptune. I'm not nice enough to spend my precious time with you, Noir proceeded to leave the room much to their confusion. Where are you going? Asked Erisman. I'm going for a walk, I want to be alone. Noir went out of the room and had soon exited from the inn to walk along the street, then she stopped and spoke up. Why are you two following me? I thought I said that I wanted to be alone. She turned around to face Neptune and Naruto who had been following her this whole time. We can't really let you go alone at night since it might be dangerous and all, Naruto pointed out. Yeah, so take us with you, said Neptune with a smile. I can see that you're all getting along like always, but try not to make too much noise, okay, said Chian who was also out at night. You see. We got scolded because of you, said Noir with a frown. I don't think we were being scolded, Noir-chan. By the way, what are you doing out here, Chian-san, said Naruto. I was having a meeting with the other factories in prep for the expo. There are a lot of skilled craftsmen in the local factories to help, Chian explained. The plan is simple, make a great item to meet with Lady Blackheart. I even got some people who lost their jobs to come over and help. It just goes to show how much of a negative effect that Avenir is having on La Station, said Model X. Well, like we said before, you can count on us to help out, said Neptune. Noir could only nod in agreement. Well, we better head back to the inn and rest for tomorrow, said Naruto. Then they made their way back to the inn to do just that for their mission the next day. And so with great hesitance, let's go work for Avenir, Neptune grumbled as she and the others walked through a forest the next morning. It took a lot for the others to simply get her out of bed due to her obvious dislike for the company, but eventually they were able to get a move on. Please don't say that out loud, we wouldn't know who might be listening, said If sternly. Nep doesn't really have a zipper for her mouth, said Kompa with a sweat drop. I don't like it either, so I'm just trying to simply grin and bear it, said Naruto. You can consider this as training for missions which would require you to go undercover when you become a ninja, said K9. I guess you have a point there. Sorry for the wait, it took a while to get ready. They turned to see Noir run up to them, and they noticed something rather different about her. Huh? What's with the eyeglasses, Noir? Like Neptune asked. Noir was currently wearing a pair of red-framed glasses. Oh, these? Noir looked proud wearing them. I bet you're enamored with yourself with those glasses of yours. Oh, of course not, who would do such a shameful thing? But it does look good on her, makes her give off vibes of a smart person, said Naruto. She looks nice, Erisman was in agreement with the blonde. Oh, thank you, it's not like I put it on to impress anybody, Noir was blushing from the compliments. Alright you guys, you can pick up on that after the work is done. We need to get a move on, said If. They resumed their walk until arriving at a clearing where they saw two men waiting there for them. One is a very well-groomed man with a neat appearance. He has brown hair, brown eyes, light skin, and is also dressed in a purple suit. The other is a much older man with slicked back hair wearing a magenta business suit. The younger man spoke up, nice to meet you, we have been waiting for a while. I suppose that you folks are the ones to be taking on our work. Yes, and I suppose that you're our client Ganesh, right? Asked If. The man nodded in affirmation, that's right, my name is Ganesh and I work at Avenir. The man next to me is our representative, Mr. Singe. Said person didn't respond or so much as glance their way. Naruto's eye twitched in annoyance of him snubbing them. It's rare to get work from people of your rank, or are we just that important? Asked If. Ganesh chuckled in amusement, you're such a kidder. Stop the unnecessary prattle here, I don't any time to spare, said Mr. Singe sternly. I wonder what crawled up his pants today. Naruto muttered, Erisman giggled at that. Oh yes, My apologies then. Anyways, here's what I would like to order from you. We're planning to construct a new plant here but are having problems with a certain monster around here. I see, so you want us to exterminate the monster, More clarified. We'll be inspecting the area so we need it cleared out. As long as the place is cleared, I could care less what you all do, said Mr. Singe. Sounds easier than I thought, for a second I was thinking that we would be doing paperwork and stuff, said Neptune. Yeah, not exactly one of our strong points, said Naruto with a sweat drop. Me too, I used to be placing belladonnas on food and I was even bad at that too, said Kampa. But aren't belladonnas poisonous? Asked Erisman confusedly. Actually they are, but I'm sure that Kampa was placing edible orchids, if explained to the little Digimon. Now, let's get this done, shall we? Please make it quick, said Ganache. Alright then, we're heading out, let's go everyone, said Naruto as they all left the clearing. Commence with the mission, unaware that Ganache and Mr. Singe was looking at one of them, particularly Noir. Sir President, about that black-haired girl, said Ganache with a frown. Did you notice too? Asked Mr. Singe. Yes, for a cosplay, the similarity is uncanny. She has been missing for a few days, right? Yes, so it's quite possible that it's her. What should we do? Nothing for now, we can't do anything without positive proof, but be sure to keep watch of her. Naruto and the gang had currently situated themselves in the lad sanctuary and were moving along the pathway when Neptune decided to strike up a conversation to stave off the boredom while searching for the monster. I guess it isn't easy to find exactly what Avenir is gonna exhibit, said Neptune. Maybe so, but we could at least test Qian's weapon out though, said If. Speaking of which, you said that you will be fighting along with us, Noir. Yes, that's right, Noir affirmed. In that case there's some monsters over there, so let's fight one to see how good Noir is. Neptune pointed over towards a group of monster which Naruto had K9 identify them to be 2 giant spiders and a boss lizard. You underestimate me, but fine, take a good look with those eyes of yours. Noir brandished her short sword with a look of confidence. Hey, to make things even more fun, why not bet our puddings? Winner takes all. I'll take that bet too, plus I get to use my new techniques while I'm at it. Naruto stepped up with a grin. You're on, though it isn't much of a bet since I'm going to win, said Noir smugly. I don't know about you, but I'm not planning to lose either. Transform. Neptune shifted into her other form and had her blade at the ready. Time to get serious. What the? That's not fair. Transforming. Noir complained loudly. Well then, why don't you transform too? Wadash. Nep, a normal person besides Naruto can't transform like you, Kampa pointed out. Random as usual, said If with a roll of her eyes. Well, a bet is a bet, so I won't let you go so easily, said Neptune. Nep gets super serious when it comes to pudding, said Kampa. I won't be transforming anyways, I want to train up in my normal form. Naruto stopped forward as he summoned Kansho and Bakuya into his hands. Well, I won't be so easily bested, said Noir with determination. Do your best everyone, said Erisman. First move starts it all, Charger. Naruto rushed towards one of the spiders and slashed consecutively with his short swords before somersaulting away from the spider's swipe in retaliation and was running after him to attack again. Noir suddenly intercepted it and slashed at it swiftly before knocking it back with a strong kick. Neptune went after the boss lizard and attacked it with the monster using its shield to defend against the attack before swinging its axe towards her, but Neptune saw it coming and flew backwards to evade it. Naruto and Noir were busy fighting the 2 spiders which were attempting to attack them in a pincer formation, but they were proving themselves strong to offset the plan. As Naruto would slash a couple of times before jumping away to avoid potent counterattacks, Noir was moving about with the grace of a ballet dancer and striking at opportune moments. Naruto saw an incoming attack from one of the spiders towards and acted quickly by throwing Kansho to deflect the claw away as he ran before using Bakuya to strike it, then catching the other short sword when it returned to him. I suppose I should be thankful, said Noir. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. If you want to. He caught sight of something heading in his direction and quickly rolled out of the way of an attack by the boss lizard, which had switched targets from Neptune to the blonde, who was proving to be as much of a threat like the former. Naruto continued to use short dashes to avoid the incoming slashes. How rude of you to attack like that. Lace ribbons. Noir dashed towards the boss lizard and performed a flip kick to launch it into the air, then juggled it in midair with 2 spinning kicks before twirling in the air to strike with a diagonal slash. Whoa, not bad, said Naruto in surprise. Noir looked smug at that. Expect no less from me. In that case, I might as well show off my stuff then. Trace on. Blue circuits appeared on Naruto's arms from the shoulders to his fingertips, and now, steel fans. He projected copies of the swords to the point of holding 3 short swords in between the fingers of each hand. Then he lunged at one of the spiders and slashed consecutively before it dispersed into pixels. Awesome. Critical edge. Neptune swooped past the duo towards the boss lizard to slash the monster, then followed up with an uppercut to launch it into the air, then slashed once more with great speed whilst inflicting a large amount of damage. The boss lizard fired a ball of energy towards Neptune, who quickly took to the air to evade as it triggered an explosion upon impact. This one might be a little troublesome, but not challenging enough. Moore slashed the giant spider several more times until it dispersed into pixels as well before turning her attention towards the boss lizard, with Naruto doing the same as well, with the bet still in their minds. One step ahead of you, Charger. Naruto dashed at the monster and slashed it rapidly before finalizing with a dual strike. No way, cross combo. Neptune rushed at the monster and slashed up to 5 hits, with the 6th launching it into the air, then flying after it with the final slash to drive it to the ground. I won't lose this bet. Lace ribbons. Noir dashed towards the boss lizard and performed a flip kick to launch it into the air, then juggled it in midair with 2 spinning kicks before twirling in the air to strike with a diagonal slash. Take this. The trio landed their attacks on the boss lizard, inflicting too much damage for the monster to withstand as it dispersed into pixels like the other 2, signaling the end of the battle. Humph, I won, said Neptune with a smile. Noir frowned at that. What are you saying? I won first. No way, my attack was the one to have finished it off, said Naruto. No, I was 10 frames ahead you. Alright, that's enough. The 3 of you dealt the final blow at the same time, which makes it a tie, said If. No way. Neptune protested. That's right, there's no way I could have tied with those 2, said Noir. Me neither, I know that I landed the finishing first, said Naruto in complaint. Ah, you 3 are so stubborn, said If angrily. Yikes, the 3 took a step back in shock at the reaction. They weren't expecting If to act like that. Kompa stepped up looking just as stern. If the ref says it's a tie, then it's a tie, or we'll just have to take away the pudding since you're not willing to accept that. Please don't do that, we'll be good. The trio waved their hands in a pleading manner. Well then, you have to be friends. Never thought that the kid would be this whipped before even getting a girlfriend. Talk about comedy gold. Way better than where I used to be, said K9 amusedly. What are you talking about? Asked Model X curiously. It's nothing, you don't need to bother about it. K9 looked away nervously. The group resumed their trek through the woods and engaged several more monsters like turrets and spiders along the way, and had leveled up twice whilst Erisman was picking up materials like a black pigment and a data crystal with his treasure hunter ability, and also leveled up too. They roamed in the search of the monster, but so far aren't finding any which could be classified as giant and dangerous. Speaking of, what is this monster we're supposed to beat? Asked Neptune. So far we know that it's a large-sized monster, said If. Anything else? Asked Noir. Nothing. That's pretty much all the information that the documents have in them. Not saying anything bad to you, but that's quite lacking information. Noir-chan is right. How are we supposed to exterminate a monster when we don't even how it even looks like? Naruto pointed out with a frown. Well, we can ask someone who has the information we need, said Kompa. But it's not like there's someone around here with that kind of information, you know, Moore pointed out to the nurse in training. My, to see known faces here with the exception of a certain few, a feminine voice spoke up. causing everyone to turn to see who it is that spoke. She is a girl with long blue hair and blue eyes, accompanied with a black witch hat. She wears a long, white overcoat with black trimming, and underneath it, she seems to be wearing what could be a uniform consisting of a red tie and a pleated skirt. Her legwear consists of gray thigh-high socks and ankle-high heels with white laces. "Who are you?" asked Noir cautiously. "My name you ask?" "Of course it's Mages," said the girl with a smile. "Mages?" asked Neptune confusedly. "It's Mages with a PRD, Mages." Corrected. I don't think it makes verbal sense." "Alright then, Mages." "It is." Mages smiled in amusement. You said something similar the last time as well." "Huh? Are you someone I know?" asked Neptune. "That's great Nep, we finally found someone who knows you," said Compa happily. "The question is if it's a good thing. The last two people we meet tried to off us, and there's an old saying that the third time's the charm." Naruto looked ready to summon the twin swords or mega merge with Model X at the slightest hint of hostility, not noticing Noir flinch. "From the way it sounds, it looks like Neptune has lost her memory," said Mages thoughtfully. "Exactly." "How did you know?" asked Neptune. "With my expertise, I can extract the truth from mere words. Although it's unfortunate that I might not be of help here." "More like we pointed it out to begin with." K9 muttered lowly. "What do you mean?" asked Erisman. "To put things simple, I came from another dimension, so the Neptune which I know is not the Neptune in front of me," Mages explained. "I'm getting confused," said Compa. "So Mages isn't from around here but from another world," said If. I see, sharp as usual If. "Well, besides you knowing Nep, there's something else I want to ask you. We're looking for a certain monster around here, do you know anything about it?" "I do, but it's in exchange for other information." "Okay, but I don't have any information on how to get you back to your dimension." "No, not that. I want to know where I can buy Doc P." If quirked an eyebrow in confusion at that. That sounds blah. "Do you know what it is, Compa?" "I've never heard of it. What about?" "You Nep?" asked Compa. "You're asking someone with memory loss. What about you Naru and Noir?" asked Neptune. "I haven't heard of it either," said Naruto. Erisman shook his head in response. "First time for me. What is this Doc P?" asked Noir. Mages looked flabbergasted at their response. No one knows what Doc P is. "The drink of the chosen, Doc Tear Popper." "Nope," everyone responded bluntly. Mages took out a cell phone from her pocket and dialed a phone number before holding it to her ear. "Hello. The organization has removed the existence of Doc P here as well. I can't give up now. There must be traces of Doc P remaining. You continue the search there. I bid you luck, Luchas Tniva Mag Noidamina Sisum." Then she ended the call and put the phone away with a frown. "TCH. I can't believe that Doc P doesn't exist here as well. Kinda weird that she's crossing dimensions in search of a drink," thought Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. "I don't know who you're speaking to, but can you answer our question next?" asked Noir. "Yes, I suppose. What would you like to know?" said Mages. "Do you know the whereabouts of a large-sized monster around here?" "Is that it? I just saw one a while ago." "Sounds like our quarry. It shouldn't be too far from here," said If. "I assume that you're hunting the monster down?" asked Mages. "It's what we were assigned to exterminate, so yeah," said Naruto. Mages looked at Naruto with eyes of interest. "You seem to be an interesting person. I would love to learn more about you, but I have urgent matters to attend to." "Thank you for telling us where the monster is," said Erisman politely. "Very well then, I bid you all farewell." Then Mages walked away to places unknown to them. "Looks like the target is near. Let's hurry before it gets away," said Noir. "Alrighty then, let's go," said Neptune. The group hurried in the direction given to them by Mages. whilst avoiding the monsters until they came into a clearing where they saw what appears to be a giant canine with blue fur, long fangs, metal bracers on its forelegs. The monster growled upon seeing them and looked ready to attack. Naruto had K9 identify it to be a dog. "Is that the monster over there?" asked Neptune, wanting to make sure. "It's a lot bigger than the ones we've seen so far," said Kampa. "Then that must be it. Get ready everyone," said If with her claws already equipped. If was the first to land the first attack as she slashed the dog several times, then quickly backed away when it attempted to counter with a claw swipe. Naruto intercepted by standing in between them and using his twin swords to deflect the claw as he went down on one knee for Neptune to use as a springboard and lunged at the monster's head and slashed at it with her blade before landing on the ground and quickly retreating to avoid any retaliatory strikes. The dog growled in anger and opened its mouth to fire a blast of wind in Kampa's direction. Naruto rushed over to grab hold of her just as the blast made contact, but they went up in a puff of smoke to reveal two wooden logs in their places as Naruto reappeared a fair distance away from the monster. "Thanks Naru," said Kampa grateful. "Don't mention, but be sure to watch out for its long-range attacks now." Naruto got back to his feet and activated his projection technique, then followed it up by using Blade Raid as he ran towards it before rolling to the side to evade the incoming claw swipe in his direction, Charger. Naruto closed in on the enemy to strike rapidly with the dual blades, then somersaulted into the air for Neptune to use her cross combo to follow up, but was knocked back when the dog retaliated with a claw swipe. Kampa quickly used her healing on Neptune as Noir took on the offensive role and slashed the monster at several vulnerable points before backing away from potential counterattacks. Naruto was mildly annoyed and used his steel fans to attack and clashed with the dog's claws. Arisman seized the opportunity to use the lightning fur to fire a barrage of quills coated in electricity to attack, which also managed to inflict a paralysis effect upon it. Los Delfinus. If channeled her energy to summon a pillar of light beneath the dog to inflict great damage, coming at you with full force, lace ribbons. Noir dashed towards the boss lizard and performed a flip kick to launch it into the air, then juggled it in midair with two spinning kicks before twirling in the air to strike with a diagonal slash. Critical edge. Neptune dashed forward to slash the monster, then followed up with an uppercut to launch it into the air, then slashed once more, Kenzan dive. Arisman curled up into a spiny ball and spun rapidly before slamming into the dog, then bounced away. The monster opened its mouth to launch another blast of wind, but the others were quick to move out of the way. Demon flames. If activated her skill to trigger multiple explosions of flames erupted around the monster before combining to create one large final fiery explosion for maximum damage. "It's getting tired, keep up with the assault," said Naruto upon noting the dog's current state. "Alrighty then, cross combo." Like always, Neptune rushed at the monster and slashed up to 5 hits with the 6th launching it into the air, then flying after it with the final slash to drive it to the ground. "It's all over for you now, execution." Naruto leapt into the air as he swooped towards the dog and attacked with a strong cross slash to inflict a lot of damage, which was sufficient enough to take it down once and for all. "Well, that takes cares of it. Good job everyone," said Naruto as he put away the twin short swords. "You're certainly getting stronger with each battle and training," said Model X. "He needs to with what he's sure to encounter in the future," said K9. "Yeah, it was pretty easy, and Noir's strong too," said Neptune cheerfully. "What do you expect?" "But you're not so bad yourself," said Noir with a small smile. "Yay, I got praised by Nawa." "Wah. Nawa. Why did you shorten my name, and who said I was praising you?" "It looks like they getting along better than before," said If amusedly. "Yup, enemies one day then friends the next," said Kampa happily. Naruto was about to say more when he heard a voice which didn't belong to any of the others, especially since it sounded masculine by the tone. "That was quite the show of skills and teamwork there, and I never thought that I would see you so soon. That voice. Could it be?" Model X spoke with surprise as he and Naruto turned to see something emerge from behind the trees and enter the clearing, acquiring the attention of the other girls. It is a piece of metal with a hexagonal shape while bearing similarities to Model X except that it has a red/dark blue color scheme with a green gem on its forehead, and the chin has a long white ridge running across its lower half. Model Z. Long time no see Model X, said Model Z, the now revealed biometal. Whoa, is he another one of the biometals X? Asked Naruto. Yes he is, but I thought he was sealed away like the others, said Model X. I was sealed away, but like you I was able to free myself and had been searching for a biomatch but to no avail. But it looks like you managed to find one, said Model Z. Looks like you found another biometal, or rather it found you, said Neptune. Biometal? What are you talking about? Asked Moore confusedly. It's a long story, we can talk about it later, said If. How about you? Join us see. I'm sure that Naruto possessed the unique biomatch that Vent used to have, plus we could use your help so we can find and rescue the others, Model X offered. I was planning to join, having seen his budding skills and teamwork has proven to me that he would make for a good partner, said Model Z. Thanks Model Z, I'll make sure to not let you down, said Naruto with a smile. I look forward to working together with you. Model Z floated into Naruto's pocket to rest. Looks like we got another friend to join us, said Kampa. Yeah, what say we report back to Ganache to affirm the monster's extermination before heading over to Chian's place to give her the weapon data that she needs, said Naruto. Sure thing, let's go, said If. The group reported back to give Ganache the report of their mission, then left the lad sanctuary and headed over to the cafeteria to inform Chian of everything that's happened today. Naruto himself was having a conversation with Model Z since he wanted to get to know him better. We're home. Neptune called out cheerfully, Chian, we're done with the weapon testing. Chian appeared from behind the counter with a look of surprise, really? That was pretty quick, let's have a look then shall we? Neptune handed over the Armas test model blade before moving to sit on the bar stool along with the others. Anything about Avenir? About that, it didn't work out as planned, said Noir with a frown. What we do know is that Avenir is making a new plant in the area. Chian's eyes widened in shock. Another one? What's the matter, is it that much of a surprise for a plant to be made? Asked If. You may not know, but those plants are ruining the nature around them. We've lost countless forests because of them, said Chian angrily. That will probably make La Station hard to live in, said Kampa worriedly. I'm guessing that Avenir don't even care if La Station deteriorates into nothing as long as they get what they want, said Naruto with his arms crossed while thinking deeply. If that's the case, we need to go back to Avenir one more time so we can figure out a way to stop them for good, said If. You're right, I'm sure that it will work this time, said Noir. That's right, we still have a lot of continues left, said Neptune. Hey now, nothing over the top okay, said Chian. However, the group were completely unaware that there was someone listening in on their conversation, and that person was none other than Ganache, who was currently leaning close to the entrance with a small smile on his face as he continued to eavesdrop until he stood up and began walking away. Oh my, how interesting. Their conversation is quite intriguing. Let's see, maybe I should make them taste what it's like to go against us. Take this. Naruto brought his dual short swords down upon a monster to finish it off as it dispersed into pixels, signaling the end of the battle. Naruto sent the blades away and let out a sigh before checking on the G-pad, which was beeping to see that a request has been completed, and smiled in satisfaction. Alright, mission complete. Arisman hopped into Naruto's hoodie. We found the 3 palpitation for the request. Naruto along with Arisman and the biometals were currently in the lad's sanctuary on a request today, as Avenir hadn't called them. The others were doing their own thing while waiting, so he decided to go off on his own for some EXP farming and gain some levels he was sure that he could manage, plus would mega merge with the biometals in case the monsters were too strong to handle. You're getting stronger, Naruto, keep training just like this, as I feel that we'll be facing stronger opponents in the near future, said Model X. He's not wrong. You need to be at your best before our next encounter with Arfoire, said Model Z. Tell me about it. Last time we beat her because we were very lucky. Naruto shuddered from the phantom pains of the aforementioned battle. Better head back now as it's getting late before your friends start getting worried. K9 spoke up from the G-pad. Naruto looked up to see the sky slowly darkening as the sun begins to set. You're right, time to return to La Station. Naruto began his trek back to the city and had arrived there by the time had already set and it was nighttime. He reported to the guild to report in on the completed request and received 2,000 credits and a random encounter LV2 material. He left the building and was on his way to the inn when he met Neptune and Noir, with the former perking up upon seeing him. Hey Naru, I was wondering where you've been all day, asked Neptune curiously. I thought I told you that I was going to take on a couple of requests from the guild and I just got back after completing the last one for the day, said Naruto with a quirked eyebrow. Neptune blinked. Oh right, I kinda forgot about that. Noir rolled her eyes at that. Why am I not surprised? So why were you looking for Naruto? Asked Arisman curiously. Oh yeah. I wanted to invite Naru to eat pudding with me. Iffy and Kompa said no, but I was able to get Noir to join. So how about it, wanna eat pudding with us? Asked Neptune, hoping that he would say. Sure, why not? Said Naruto with a smile. Great. Let's go, I know just the perfect spot to eat our pudding. Neptune grabbed Naruto's hand and proceeded to drag the blushing blonde along with Noir following after them and shaking her head. Something tells me that he doesn't really know how to say no to a girl, Noir muttered lowly. The group soon found themselves sitting at the top of a grassy hill close to the outskirts as they gazed upon the city lights with the cool night breeze blowing through the sky. This scenery made him smile softly as he recalls sitting atop the Hokage mountain to look at the entire village from above. Neptune had already handed out the puddings for them to snack on. See what I mean, Noir, eating pudding in a place like this makes it taste a whole lot better, said Neptune before taking another bite of her pudding with a look of relish. You got the right idea, Nepchan, I used to do something like this back home too. It makes my ramen taste awesome, said Naruto in agreement. Noir silently ate her pudding, then she paused to speak up. Neptune, I want to ask you something. As long as you don't ask about my account balance, then sure, said Neptune, causing Naruto and Arisman to chuckle while the biometals and navigator were just as amused. If you were a CPU, what would you think of La Station? Between the land and the console wars, which would you choose? Naruto looked at the twin-tailed girl in confusion of the question. For what reason would she ask such question from out of the blue like that? Does it have something to do with Lady Blackheart not doing anything about the current situation, or is it something else? The blonde ninja aspirant chose to stay silent and listen. Neptune tilted her head at the question. I'm not a CPU, so I'm not really sure. I'm just hypothetically asking, what if? I would like to help whoever is in front of me first. And what's that again? The console wars? Even if that goes bad, I'm more than happy seeing the people's face who I saved and pudding too. Neptune, Moore looked at her in wonder of the answer. Naruto smiled as this reminds of how Hiruzen would talk to him about what it means to be Hokage. None of them noticed how K9 looked away upon hearing the statement. Anyway, why were you asking about that? Asked Neptune. I was just feeling a bit curious. Guess being in a place like this can make you think about things you wouldn't wonder about every day, said Naruto as he began to wonder about how things are going back in Konoha. By the way, your egg pudding looks good. Can I have a taste? Asked Moore politely. Okay, then let me try your chocolate pudding too. Moore scooped a bit of her pudding and held it towards Neptune. Here, have a bite. Neptune bit into it and squealed at the taste. Ah, this bittersweet flavor, such bliss. Then she scooped a bit of hers and held it out to Noir. Have some of mine. Thanks, such a sweet flavor, said Noir after tasting the pudding. Neptune turned towards Naruto. Can I have a taste of your vanilla pudding, Naru? Sure, have some. Naruto held out the pudding cup towards her, but what he wasn't expecting was Neptune taking the spoon out of his hands and scooping a bit of pudding before putting it into her mouth. What? It tastes yummy too, said Neptune, oblivious to the blonde's stunned reaction, and he wasn't the only one. Wow, didn't see that one coming, K9 muttered in surprise, then he smirked, but entertaining nonetheless with that look on his face. Neptune, what are you doing? Asked Moore, looking flabbergasted. Neptune blinked. Oh right, sorry about that, you wanted a bite too, right? What? I didn't say anything like dash. Noir was cut off when Neptune shoved a bit of pudding with Naruto's spoon into her mouth before pulling away. The poor girl held her hands to her mouth as she blushed beet red. How is it? Tastes good, right? Time for Naruto to have a taste of mine too. Neptune then shoved a spoonful of her pudding into Naruto's mouth. All this was becoming too much for the two victims of Neptune's antics. With their faces completely red and steam coming out of their ears, they couldn't take it anymore as their eyes rolled up into their heads and fell back in a faint. Neptune looked at both of them in confusion. Was it something I did? Asked Neptune. Yes, the Digimon, Biometals and Navigator responded simultaneously. The next day, everyone has gathered at the inn and getting themselves ready for the main objective of the day as if spoke up to grab their attention. Okay, so we'll go to Avenir again today. Is everyone ready? Asked If. Ready and willing, said Neptune cheerfully. Me too, said Kampa. Then she noticed a lack of response from the remainder and turned towards Naruto and Noir. Are you two okay? Oh, we're fine, there's no problem, said Noir rather hastily. Why yeah, we're good to go. Naruto stammered in response. Kampa blinked in confusion. Okay. Did something happen to you? Asked If with a quirked eyebrow. Oh, that's probably because yesterday Neptune was interrupted by Noir clamping a hand on her mouth to prevent her from saying any more as she and Naruto blushed from the memory. Not another word from you, said Noir. Something tells me that Neptune did something that they don't want to talk about, said Kampa. Same here, said If. Understatement of the year, said K9. They heard the door open and turned to see Qian walk inside while holding a familiar weapon in hand. Oh, there you are, perfect timing, said Qian. Sorry for being abrupt, but could you test a weapon for me again? Wait, you mean you revised the weapon already? Asked Neptune with surprise. That's pretty fast to finish in a couple of days, said If. Yeah, your feedback kept me up all night. It was pretty interesting data. If you could do this inside with Avenir's work then I would be grateful, said Qian. Alright, it's not a problem. Great, here you go. Qian handed the Armas Test Model 1.01 blade over to Neptune for her to equip it. Okay everyone, let's get going, said Naruto, receiving nods of affirmation from the others before setting out from the inn towards the destination which Ganache had sent to them earlier. And so, Nep and family have arrived at a closed factory for Avenir's work, said Neptune as she and the others are currently at said location which K9 identified to be Avenir Storage Number 3, which apparently one of the many buildings constructed by said company. You're chipper as usual, said Noir with a sigh. Hey, when you don't have any memory, you can do anything you want. Tell me about it. Noir took a glance at Naruto and her eyes strayed to his lips and blushed lightly at the thought of the indirect kiss courtesy of Neptune. Anyways, what's the deal about being called to this kind of place? Arisman poked his head out of Naruto's hood to look at the surroundings. It looks abandoned. What are we going to do here? I'm sure we'll find out soon enough, said Naruto. But it doesn't change the fact about its strangeness, said Model Z. Soon enough, Ganache arrived and greeted the group with a friendly wave before speaking up. It's been a while folks, I would like to have you do some work for us again. Hi there, you must be working a lot. Try not to burn yourself out, said Neptune cheerfully. Ganache smiled in response. Do I really look that busy? I actually take my breaks seriously. I wish I could take breaks too, said Kampa. Well, most of our work are done by machines, so it's no trouble in the least. Kinda makes one rather lazy in a way, said Naruto. Ganache resumed the conversation. Back to business, let's begin with the subject of the work. As you can all see, this place has not been in operation for quite some time. So, what are we supposed to do here? Asked If. There's a certain material we've not recovered since the closure, we want you to find it and bring it back to us. Is that all? Sounds a lot easier than I was expecting, said Neptune. But there's some kind of catch, isn't there? Asked Naruto. Quite sharp of you. The place is now swarming with monsters since the closure, so you would have to fight your way through, said Ganache. So, what is it that we're looking for, as it sounds very important? Asked If. Indeed, it is, a certain or which we call the last elite. Just 1 gram holds enough energy to power a game console for 10,000 years, the excavation of it is difficult, which is why we want to recover what we have. I've never heard of such an ore before. Me neither, said Noir skeptically. Such a material would have been heard through rumors with the way you describe it, said Naruto with a small frown. There's something about this that's bugging him. We haven't heard of such a material during our time with Vent, said Model X. Not to mention that it sounds rather far-fetched, Model Z added. That would have occurred had we not held a monopoly of it. We did not disclose it for the sake of controlling it, said Ganache. If it's that super rare, then you don't mind if you could share a bit with us, asked Neptune. Come on Nep, this is no time for jokes, said If sternly. Come on Iffy, this last elite thingy can power game consoles for 10,000 years. Which hardcore gamer wouldn't want that? But he said that the company is holding monopoly of the ore, so won't that mean it's off limits, said Erisman with a look of concern. Well, if you would like some, I'm sure that the company would spare a small bit since you've proven to be quite an impressive group, just as long as you can keep it a secret for now, said Ganache. Really? And here I thought that Avenir was kind of blah, but now I see you all in a different light now, said Neptune happily. But Erisman made a good point, didn't he just mention that they don't want anyone to know about this or yet? This is kinda odd, thought Naruto with a small frown. He was suddenly snapped out of it when he felt someone grab his hand and looked to see that it was Neptune, who was saluting to Ganache cheerfully. No worries, leave it to Captain Nep and her trusty crew to slay monsters and retrieve the ore. She proceeded to drag the blonde along into the building. Nep-chan, wait, said Naruto, but he was pulled inside, leaving the others little choice but to follow after them. The group was barely a couple steps away from the entrance when the large steel doors suddenly closed and there was a metallic click from the outside. Much to their surprise, Naruto approached the doors to try and push them open, but to no avail, which made that odd feeling from before come back with more intensity. What's going on Ganache, why did you lock the doors behind us? Asked If with a frown. Sorry about that, I must have pressed something to be truthful, I purposely locked you in, said Ganache with indifference. Why are you doing this? Asked Kampa worriedly. For you to serve as food for the monsters inside, of course. What gives? I won't get that ore of yours if you keep acting like this, said Neptune with annoyance. Nep-chan, Ganache had led us into a trap and used that fake story of the last elite to lure us in, said Naruto as he glared at the door. You mean we've been tricked? Asked Noir, shocked at the revelation, and she wasn't the only one. That is quite correct, and pray tell, how were you able to figure it out? Asked Ganache with an unseen look of impression. A lesson my sensei taught me some time ago, when something sounds too good to be true, that is, you must be cautious. Just wished I had done so much earlier, said Naruto with a growl of frustration. A sound advice, said Model Z. But why are you doing this? Noir demanded for an answer. Simple. I am well aware that you're all assisting Qian of Passé in hopes of uncovering our plans for the exhibition, if I'm not wrong, said Ganache, earning gasps from the group sans Naruto, who just growled. He must have sent a spy to eavesdrop on us. K9 muttered lowly. We would win regardless, but I thought it better to get rid of you in the case that you might prove to be a hindrance in the future. I'd best be on my way now, farewell. Footsteps could be heard getting fainter as Ganache left the group locked within the abandoned building. Darn it! Naruto punched the door in frustration. Looks like the way out is sealed tight, said Noir with a frown. Iffy, Nara, what's going to happen to us? Asked Kampa looking a bit scared. Well, If tried to come up with a plan but isn't getting any good ones so far. Noir looked down at the ground with a look of guilt. I'm sorry, this is all my fault. None of this would have happened if I didn't suggest taking Avenir's work. Naruto then spoke up, don't start blaming yourself, Noir-chan, none of this was your fault. But nothing, your plan was a good one and we followed it because it was, we just didn't expect them to spy on us. Nara's right, now's not the time to be so down in the dumps. Plus it's not like we can't get out of here, we just need to find another way, Neptune added. Naruto Neptune, Noir was really touched at how much faith that they have in her despite the short time spent together. Nep is right, a large place like this is bound to have more than one exit besides this one, we'll have to search thoroughly for one, said if, let's get a move on, I doubt any of us wants to become monster food. Right, everyone responded. The group began their traverse through the abandoned complex, but they already started encountering monsters from the very moment they had left the locked entrance. The team were able to take them down, but more seemed to take the place of the ones which they had taken out, much to their growing frustration. Ah, there's so many monsters here, said Kompa a bit tiredly. Yeah, they keep spawning like some military video game, said Neptune with a pout. This is way too many even for a monster's nest, if frowned in thought. Could it be that Avenir brought them here so they could finish us? Asked Noir. I don't know about that, Noir-chan. How would they be able to actually move these many monsters into this place just for us, said Naruto. I see your point. Arisman was listening to the conversation when he suddenly perked up and jumped off Naruto's head to land on the ground and scamper away, much to everyone's confusion, especially Naruto, as he followed after the Digimon to bring him back and find out what's going on. Arisman, where are you going? It's too dangerous to go off on your own, said Naruto. Arisman stopped at the doorway and sniffed the air a couple of times. I smell something familiar here. Then he passed through with Naruto right behind and got ready to call on the short swords in case there was a monster hiding in wait, only to find something that wasn't exactly one, to say the least. It appears to be a bipedal cat-like creature about Arisman's height, with white fur, yellow eyes, a tail, a small horn on the nose, and small fangs. It has metallic feet with 3 toes each and a large claw on each toe, and metallic hands with 3 clawed fingers each. It has a magnifying glass-like appendage on its tail, and a yellow-looking glass mark on its belly. It wears a red helmet with 2 horns forming a V-like shape, and a magnifying glass-like object on the helmet, and it has 2 USB cables of medium length on its back. Arisman called out with happiness in his voice, Gatchman, it's really you. The creature turned around and blinked before recognizing Arisman and smiled in response. Well, aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Long time no see, Arisman. Arisman scampered up to Gatchman and proceeded to speak with him. Just where have you been? I searched all over Virtua Forest but couldn't find you. Well, I was looking around for anything interesting when I saw a witch standing amongst the monster. I approached her to find out what she was up to. Then the next thing I knew was that there was a bright flash of light before it died down, and I found myself here. Though I found some interesting things around here. By the way, Gatchman turned to look at Naruto. Who is that human here with you? Oh, this is my friend and partner Naruto Uzumaki. He protected from some monsters and I've been with him ever since, and there are others with him who are also nice too. I can take you to meet them, said Arisman excitedly. Gatchman pulled the magnifying glass device over his eye to take a closer look at Naruto. He definitely seems interesting. I guess I'll take that as a compliment, said Naruto with a sweat drop. So what was it you were looking at? Oh. I almost forgot. I came across something rather exquisite and been trying to learn more about it, but I'm rather limited due to my inability to access the network without a buddy. You can see it right over there. Gatchman pointed a metallic claw behind him for Naruto and Arisman to look. Laying on the ground is a large red device that looked almost like a sword. The handle was about a foot long and the hilt stuck out to one side with a circular pane of many layers of glass inside the hilt. The rest of the weapon curved upward into a rather blunt design that did not seem good for cutting. It looks like a sword, said Naruto. He couldn't help but feel that there was more to it than at first glance. Indeed, and yet it doesn't possess a sharp edge like any other sword, but I can't help but suspect that it could do more than that. Just the thought of discovering its other features makes me giddy with excitement, said Gatchman. I can tell that there's a secret hidden within it. I myself share the same level of curiosity concerning it, said Model X as he looked at the sword on the floor. Maybe we can take it to Qian to check it out since she deals in weaponry and stuff, Naruto suggested as he took a closer look towards the weapon by going down on one knee. That sounds quite reasonable. I would like to accompany you anyways, said Gatchman. Really, why's that? I can easily tell that Arisman has definitely gotten a lot stronger and more confident since I last met him. Plus I get the feeling that being with you will give me the opportunity to learn a lot of things in the world than I would on my own. Arisman looked at Naruto with hopeful eyes. Please Naruto, let him come with us. Gatchman will really help us a lot. Naruto looked thoughtful for some time before finally giving his response, alright, Gatchman can join us if he wants to. Gatchman smiled in response and held a claw out to Naruto, thanks, I'm sure to learn a lot with you and your friends. Naruto smiled back and held the claw in a handshake as his G-pad suddenly spoke up. New battle pet acquired, Gatchman, the search-type Digimon. New abilities unlocked. Gatchman looked at himself in surprise as his body glowed with a blue aura before fading away, astounding. I can now use my other abilities that were locked until now. That's great Gatchman, said Arisman cheerfully. You're welcome I guess, anyways let's get this thing to Qian after getting out of here and teaching Avenir a lesson. Naruto picked up the sword and held it before him when all of a sudden it began to drain his chakra which alarmed him and K9, what the heck? Get it off. It's absorbing your chakra, get rid of it. Said K9 urgently. I'm trying but it won't let go of my hand. Naruto waved said hand about but the sword refused to release itself from him, then it stopped draining his chakra altogether much to his surprise. Naruto looked to see the inner parts of the sword glowing with blue energy which he suspects to be his chakra. He would have thought on this more if not for the fact he suddenly saw the image of Neptune and the girls being attacked by monsters in his mind along what the sword is capable of along with its name. Weapon acquired, sword type Monadu. New skills available. Naruto, are you okay? Asked Arisman worriedly. Naruto shook his head to clear his thoughts before responding, I'm not so sure but we need to head back to Neptune and the others as they might be in trouble. Oh okay. Arisman climbed up to the top of his head and sat on it. Gatchman followed suit by jumping up to the blonde's shoulder, then let us be off. Naruto nodded in affirmation and ran back the same way he came after following Arisman. Soon he regrouped with the others and was about to call out to them when there was a sudden glow amongst and took a closer look to see Neptune holding a familiar disc in her hand. DMN it, another one of those enemy discs. Get ready for a fight everyone, said Naruto as he brandished the sword in hand, mildly surprising himself that he has been holding on to it this whole time. The disc glowed once more before a group of monsters appeared before the group. K9 was quick to identify them to be robot-type monsters being R4-bit customs, and a Pox Vader. Then I'll be going full force here. Neptune transformed into her other form, get ready everyone, here they come. I'll take point, duelist. Naruto rushed up to the Pox Vader and attacked rapidly with the Monadu until he landed about 6 consecutive hits before jumping away to cool down. He could tell that he was able to inflict quite a bit of damage despite the weapon's lack of a sharp edge. The monster retaliated by firing a blast of energy which Naruto barely moved out of the way in time as a burst of strong winds occurred where he once stood. It was quick to follow up as she somersaulted over him and slashed at it consecutively with her claw gauntlets, then backed away from a potential "Here I come," critical edge. Neptune dashed forward to slash the monster, then followed up with an uppercut to launch it into the air, then slashed once more before it hit the ground. Suddenly one of the bit customs hovered over to the R4 and channeled energy into the monster, causing it to rise back up and took aim at Neptune before firing a blast of energy which knocked her back several meters with a certain amount of damage. Ow, that really hurt a lot. Hang on Nep, I'll heal you. Kampa quickly formed an orb of energy and sent it towards Neptune, restoring her health to a certain level. Gatchman frowned at this and jumped off Naruto's shoulder as he brought the magnifying glass device over his eye. This requires research. Deep search, a matrix of numbers could be seen streaming through the visual device as he looked at each of the monsters before speaking. Everyone, watch out for the bit customs as they would provide status buffs to the other monsters. So, we simply need to take them down first. Very well then. Moore brandished her sword and charged at one of the monsters and proceeded to slash constantly to inflict as much damage as she could. Lightning fur. Arisman joined in by firing a barrage of quills coated in electricity to attack from a distance, and Gatchman rushed by him with great speed. Gatch Claw. He struck at the bit custom with his shining claws until it dispersed into pixels. Only one more to go. If charged at the last bit custom and ready to attack, but the R4 intercepted her with an explosion attack. The smoke cleared only to reveal 2 burnt wooden logs, and Naruto stood a fair distance away with If next to him. Thanks a lot Naruto, but how did you do that? I don't really know myself, said Naruto thoughtfully. He got another one of those visions about if about to be attacked and was able to save her in time. The blonde looked at the sword in his hand. All this started when I took it. Could the sword somehow make me see into the future? He snapped back into focus when he heard Noir call out to him. Would you stop standing over there and help us out already? Said Noir after using lace ribbons to knock the R4 away for Neptune to follow up with cross combo for additional damage. Oh right, Naruto turned his sights towards the bit custom once more and quickly closed in on it. Rising sword. He performed a spiraling uppercut with the sword to launch himself and the foe into the air and followed up with a combo of additional strikes before knocking it away with an aerial roundhouse kick in direction of it, who finished it off with a cross slash to disperse it into pixels. We're all done here, said Erisman as he and Gatchman teamed up against the Pox Vader and took it out, leaving the R4 as the last monster for the group to face. The R4 fired another explosion attack, but the team were quick to move out of the way, with Naruto having to carry Kompa out of harm's way. Let's get this over with, lace ribbons. Noir dashed towards the R4 and performed a flip kick to launch it into the air, then juggled it in midair with 2 spinning kicks before twirling in the air to strike with a diagonal slash, cross combo. Neptune rushed at the monster and slashed up to 5 hits with the 6th launching it into the air, then flying after it with the final slash to drive it to the ground. Duelist. Naruto leapt in to deliver the final strikes to defeat the R4 as it dispersed into pixels like the others before it. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.